What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the low budget LCS. First time in a minute. It is Less Force leading us off tonight. Here for some economy playoff action. Joined with me, I have got Loki Aurora with me. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing great here. I'm really excited to cast a best of 3 and not a best of 5 tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely not as long. I know those were a couple of banger games over the weekend. I
Yeah.
saw one of them went to 5. But that will not be here
Mhm.
tonight. This is, like you said, just a best of 3. It is economy, and these teams are actually already out into the draft, not wasting any time here. As we're gonna hide these logos. It's not actually quite showing them the right spot. Kind of doing this on the fly a little bit. For some reason, the overlay is not quite working, so we're just gonna drag them there so you can see who's who. Death by Deep Ward is on our blue side for game number 1. Poro Professors are on red. And already seeing some bands coming out here nice and early. Got the Volibear, Aurora, and the Cho'Gath on blue side being taken away. And then Ash, Mordekaiser, Nautilus on the red side. Now, for me personally, these are a couple of teams that I think it's a lot of new faces to the LBLCS this season. So I'm not as familiar. I don't know if there are any signature picks, but something like a B1 Shen to me would signify, a very strong kind of prio pick for Death by Deep Ward.
That would make sense for me too. I don't know terribly much about these teams either. I do love a Shen pick in organized play though. Um, we'll see what they respond with if Death by Deep Words decides to double down on maybe another global or semi-global like the Galio mid or maybe a Nautilus support or Nocturne jungle. I know how to speak, I promise.
Yeah. Victor gonna be that blind mid lane pickup here for Troggy. Staple, yeah, I mean on the client has the Victor profile picture. So again, if I'm just assuming, probably a bit of an aficionado. Shouting out to Zodiac maybe. And Yunara gonna be paired with it. So they're picking their hyper carries nice and early in this draft.
I'm a little bit surprised to see the Yunar because she did just get a bit nerfed today again, I believe. She's not been doing quite as well. She's still a good and organized play where you can play around her and her need to scale, but I'm not a huge fan of that pick at the moment. That's a lot of AP on Death by Deep Ward.
It is a lot of AP. Silas, really, really strong jungle pickup at the moment, and I have to assume that's where that is going. We could see some
Mm-hmm.
shenanigans, Shen support, Syndra ADC. But I do think it's probably Sublime Shen jungle, which not the most powerful of ults on the other side, but they're kind of just daring the poor professors to not pick a strong ult.
Like
They
that.
are gonna pick the Braum. So really interesting here that there's not a whole lot of like overlap between the two roles. We got the mid laners picked out, but we've got the bot lane for the poor professors, and we've got the top side for Death by Deep Ward. So these bands are going to be pretty different here. I see we got several subscriptions in the chat. So shout out to Sammy Two Slap, 31 months, Vader Use Choke, 19 months, and King J Blue is on a watch streak. I actually misread that at first, thought that was a subscription. Watch streak is just as good, but shout out to both of you guys for the long-term subscriptions. You know the deal. Times are tough in our current economy, but Todd's still hooking us up at the Denny's with free pancakes. All you gotta do, knock on the dumpster, he'll let you in, and you know the rest.
Very cool. All right, we do see the Jinx ban since Death by Deep Ward has not chosen their ADC. And then the Scion ban since other side hasn't chosen their top, and a Sivir to round it out. So two very, very strong, more scaling-oriented ADCs that have very good wave clear and can make Yunara's time and lane annoying.
Yeah, especially those late game, hyperscaling ADCs. You want to protect your Yunara here. You want to protect Solar Exis. We're gonna pronounce it wrong. That is the LBLCS way. Again, one of your stronger players in that ADC role. You're blinding the Yunara. You want to make sure that it's set up to succeed. I would assume we're gonna be seeing a jungle pick come up here on 4, but they've already picked their top jungle on the other side, so you really could go either way. And we're gonna get Rise, which opens up some questions.
That is interesting. Huh.
It could be a Rise Top. I've
Yeah.
unfortunately played with Rise Top players in competitive before. I have also played against, and I don't want to rule this out, so make sure to write this down, chat. I have played against a Rise Jungle in playoffs before. We don't talk about how it went for the Rise Jungle, but I have seen it. Caitlyn could be the pickup here in Tunara.
Okay. I'm a little bit sad at that. I would have really enjoyed seeing something like a Tristana to pair with the Syndra ult to get just a huge burst out on somebody, like either the Victor or the Yunar, and just take them off the board before their team can react.
Yeah, the Caitlyn, though, definitely going to be able to put the pressure on,
Bully.
right? Push them under the tower. Braum not going to be able to do a ton to really stop that, especially when you pair it up with that range from the Melio. Like this pickup a lot. Does mean that your Shen is kind of your like primary front line, which means it's going to be less able to kind of go for those TP plays that Shen's typically love to go for. They're going to have to be at the play.
Yeah.
First, what are we going to get here on R5? Is this Rise Jungle? Probably not. We're probably getting a jungle here on 5. But it's probably going to be something pretty spicy here. And some say that's not spicy, but that is music to my... Oh.
That's fine.
Unfortunately, we're not getting Sejuani here in game number 1. That would be really fitting too for my first cast in quite a while to not get the Sejuani.
I'll be honest, Sejuani Braum is one of my favorite combinations, particularly at economy level, because it just chain CCs like crazy,
it's so
and
good.
it's such a strong, predictable front line.
Mhm.
And particularly at this level, teams love a standard front to back fight. That is the bread and butter in economy. And gosh, Sejuani Braum is so good at that together.
Yeah, I also really like that Sedge Braum pairing. Of course, I'm a bit of a Sedge player. Some may know me from my time on the boar. Pairs really well with Braum. I also like the Ashe. Go full Freljord, like it's a TFT composition. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started with some predictions here. While I'm doing that, tell me your thoughts on these comps a little bit. Who are you preferring?
Just really quick first, I am going to do the caster compliment. Vader, you have been a delightful member of this community for so long, and you've really grown out of your necessities of building that, oh gosh, what is it? The evolving of the refillable pot. What is that
Corrupting
called?
pot?
Corrupting pot. You've really grown since then, and we're so proud of you.
And there you have. Hey, I miss corrupting pots. Like back when I was back when I was an Ornn player, you could you'd buy the refill pot, instantly upgrade it to a corrupting pot after one wave. It was good times. Predictions are live. Again, I'm not here to make any type of gambling advice. Some like to do the Bigfoot approach and go all in every time. Other people like the Vega approach of diversifying your portfolio. I'm only here to encourage gambling. What you do with it, I don't want to do that.
Rampant gambling is definitely encouraged. Let's see. Where am I going to put my schmeckles? I mean, both these teams did fairly similarly in the regular season on opposite sides, so they're from the different groups. So they've really not met before. It'll be very exciting to see how it goes.
And that's where playoffs is exciting, right? All season these guys have been duking it out in their own groups. But once you get here to playoffs, you start intermingling. You've kind of seen these teams play on the other side of the bracket, but you don't really know like which groups are better, what the team parity really looks like. And like you were saying, this is I believe Death by Deep Water are the 2 seed on their side, and the Poro Professors are 3 on their side. Let me just double check. Yes, that is correct. So on paper, Death by Deep Water, a slight favorite, but really, especially here in economy, anyone can win any game. And that is really kind of the beauty or the horror of economy. It's all about perspective. Carpy, it is okay. So there's 2 thoughts with that approach, right? You can either double down on your own team and believe in yourself, or you can do what's what some would consider a win-win. I personally consider it a lose-lose, and you could bet against your own team. right? Because in either way, you're coming away with something, but you're also coming away a little unhappy at the same time. So either option is good, and once again, encouraged.
I'm going to go ahead and throw some schmeckles on the professors because the numbers looked better, but really, I could see it going either way so easily. I don't see really clear advantages from one team or the other. I mean, there are 2 melee into a Braum, but it's not like they have their main damage sources that are going to be held up by Braum in a team fight that much. Syndra, Melio, Caitlyn, with the space holding ability of Shen and the Melio, I don't really see that outside of an errant Q, his passive is going to be relevant for the carries. But also, Rise, Victor, Yunara, Braum can just sort of CC down everyone and mow through a team.
Yeah, my eyes are gonna be on Tokyo Chuvengers here on this Silas. It's something that I've been starting to pick up in comp leagues too. It's a very strong jungle pick, but it's not something that really benefits kind of from like the full clear philosophy, right? You kind of have to like skirmish a lot. You got to try and get gold in your pockets, take those kills, and really kind of like accelerate your game. It's not gonna be extremely great if it falls behind on the Xin Zhao, which is a much more reliable frontlining member in the jungle position. So that's where my eyes are going to be. I do think that Soldig's on this Caitlyn is going to need to get ahead as well. Just because, yes, Caitlyn has a really, really good late game if you get there, but the mid game is really rough where I see, I see a Victor, I see a Rise, I see a Yunara, and I feel like those things can all handle that late game pretty effectively. So those are the things that I am seeing. We are now waiting for the spectator delay. Got 3 minutes on that, so it gives you a little bit more time to predict. Let's see where the channel points are laying at the moment. About 30 seconds. Heavily favored are Death by Deep Board. So again, if you're after the after the Schmeckles, maybe put a little bit on the Poro professors.
No, don't. I like my odds.
That is true. You could also go all in on the favorite. No, I mean, I'm excited. Like I said, been a little bit since I've been able to cast here at the LBLCS. Just been a little busy with League, a little busy with life. League is life, some may say. But it is playoffs, so I want to make sure to try and broadcast as many of the games as we can. Economy, always a very fun league to cast.
Yes.
Really, because
I'm really looking
a
forward
lot
to
of
it.
a lot of the rules of league kind of get thrown out in economy. Just and it matters a lot more in terms of like forget what the pros are drafting or like pick order and stuff. Like if you have a cracked fizz or you have like a god tier Malphite, like that shines in economy. Like you pick what you're good at, you pick the good team fight compositions, and it's really fun to watch. Again, these are 2 teams that I'm unfamiliar with, so it'll be fun to kind of just see some new faces to me. Although both, I was looking through the stats a little bit. Looks like they've all got multiple, pretty quality players across the board. No one was really standing out as far as like, a weak spot or anything like that. So I'm excited for this.
I am too. How about we go lane through lane and we kind of get an idea of how that goes. So top lane, Shen versus Rise. I think that'll be a whole lot of nothing most of the time.
I mean, pretty much, I can't really see Shen getting a whole lot done. Rise should be able to, throw down the EW and kind of run away. I'm assuming he's going to go phase rush as well. Jungle, again, both of them can definitely look to skirmish. Xin Zhao, known stat checker. Silas, better stat checker at the moment, in my opinion. So that could be pretty intense. Personally, if I'm both of these junglers, I'm probably looking to path towards bot this game. That is what makes the most sense to me. Is we got a couple seconds here, so I will go ahead and preemptively switch us over to the in-game overlay. Better early than late, as they say. We've got the best of 3, so we got 2 bottles on each side. Looking great. I do like the Poro Professor logo a lot. Just want to put that out there before we even get started. We've got Sammy Two Slap is cheering for DBD, which I am going to read as Dead by Daylight, another one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know if I can do Death by Deep Board with that. I went DDW, and then we could not use the Poro Professor's abbreviation for obvious reasons. As we now wait for the game to load, of course, a new patch. Well, no, I don't think a patch has come out just yet. Was working
No,
fine.
I
I
think
just
we're between weeks.
played a ranked game an hour ago, so it would be fitting if it decides to have some shenanigans here right off the rip.
There have been some delays when it goes through. Should I tell you that you spelled my name wrong?
Yeah, now's as good
Okay.
time as any. We'll have
Okay.
to. We'll
It's spelled correctly, which is wrong.
Oh, I see. So it's just more of like a, illiteracy on my end rather than like a, a dictational. I see. Yes, I see the correct way to spell it now. We'll fix it.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Baby, little 11-year-old Loki, couldn't spell. So she spelled Aurora wrong, and now she always gets her username.
Hey, I mean, if it works, it works. And thankfully, speaking of working, the spectator client is going to work for us. We will go
Miraculous.
ahead. Oh, they've changed this a little bit. I don't like it as much. But either way, that's neither here nor there. We are out onto the Rift. Game number 1, Death by Deep Board against the Poro Professors. Are we going to have anything spicy coming out here nice and early? Not looking like it. Bot lane looking like they're going to try and get some early prio, maybe drop down a ward. Braum, notorious invade, quality champ. I don't think the rest of the tools are particularly good, but better safe than sorry here from Spef. I'm going to drop that ward, and we're just going to see the classic 5-point.
I'm a little bit surprised to see Caitlyn not up in the tri-bush to actually see the invade coming. That really opens up Sylas to get invaded there.
Both teams playing super defensive here. It is playoffs. We don't know, are these teams, around the comp scene a lot? Have they played in other leagues before? Is this their first time? Let's say it is their first time. They don't want to start playoffs out on the back foot. Playing it pretty safe. Interesting call here by Braum here to skip the 2 pots and buy a pink ward to put in that tri-brush. What are your thoughts on that?
Against a double range lane, I do not like it. Health is such a valuable resource, and having the pots there as needed feels bad, like not to have them.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna get poked out pretty hard. We'll see though. I'm not the support player these days, and when I do play it in ranked, don't look at what the win percentage is. We're just gonna see some simple laning here. Both junglers are actually gonna start on their red buffs, so Sylas opting to go towards the Rise. Now, with that, the Shen could look to go for like a flash taunt and try to get the Sylas ahead. So that's kind of where my eyes are going to be. And they're letting us know that the Poro Professors haven't really played competitive before. So again, maybe some of those just like initial, one to play safe early is kind of the MO.
So, in the upper left-hand corner of the mini-map is a single damn pixel that if you take it and you can drag the mini-map actually down to the bottom right corner and it won't get cut off by the overlay. Upper left corner. It's a single pixel.
This is not...
Oh, it's awful. It is.
They've definitely changed things up since I've last casted, and it doesn't seem to be. We'll find a time to make that work.
Yep.
For right now, there's nothing happening top side, so I see I see what you guys are talking about, but that's okay. We'll keep the gameplay as the focus at the moment, and we'll let you know if anything's happening that's cut off. Interesting overlay change up. League's always keeping the streamers on their toes, I guess. Nothing too crazy happening here. Both junglers, neither of these clears are particularly good. They take forever on Xin Zhao and Sylas, although Xin Zhao can do it relatively healthily, whereas Sylas gets on the death's door, trying to finish their camps.
Ooh, nice taunt under turret by the Shen, getting a little bit of return damage. Being a melee into a ranged matchup makes that early laning pretty hard, although Shen is doing a fantastic job last hitting what they can under turret and in lane into that unfavorable ranged matchup.
Yes, Dangis this truly is the low budget LCS, and we really wouldn't want to have it any other way. Gonna have a little bit of engage coming through here. Soliday's getting a good trade there onto the Braum, but the good shield going to negate a lot of that damage. And now just the Xin Zhao gonna look to get their early reset off, whereas Tokyo gonna let me look for a gank here onto Troggy. Does Syndra have the stun up? Gonna fish for it. Lots of damage on both sides. Kind of getting low, dashing there from the silos with the chains, or the chains
Beautiful.
coming through, and it is gonna be first blood over to Captain Clutch on this Syndra.
Very good first blood. That was super clean and exactly what you said Silas Jungle needed in order to accelerate his gameplay and become really relevant.
Yeah, definitely. And you get that kill onto the Syndra, should be able to kind of keep the prio in that lane. And we see that immediate Hextech Alternator coming out for Tokyo. That's a really strong spike, kind of makes it so much easier to clear camps. Does a lot more damage in terms of the skirmishes. And really good stuff here for blue side.
Nice. Oh, we will have to do the we train lol ad verbally since you don't have the visual for it.
Oh, you see, and this is the thing, right? You know, they've we do have the video package. I don't think I have it incorporated, unfortunately. We can roll that at some point. We Sheik League is actually a really good I think it's a really good service. You know, not even just because it's sponsored, but I have used their services before on my own, actually. Definitely helps with the gameplay as a good taunt there coming out from Chet. Going to be traded back some damage by Rhythmic Tragedy. Probably not going to see too much happen here top lane, but I'm surprised Shen's kind of keeping up with the CS.
Yeah, Shen's doing phenomenally in that regard. I'm super impressed. Since not much is happening other than Xin Zhao taking Drake, yes, Xin Zhao's on Drake. That'll eventually go down. Oh, Braum thinks nope.
Dash
Okay.
in there, back to a trade on the top side. A lot of damage coming out from Rhythmic on this Rise. I don't love that the Xin Zhao has to solo do that dragon. Takes them quite a long time, whereas Tokyo's been able to clear up their camps and is now looking for a gank opportunity here onto the Rise. Shen gonna look maybe with a flash taunt here coming through. Long cooldowns. Tokyo is there. There is the flash taunt.
Beautiful.
Into the chain. Chain CC. Got the E wraparound. Shen gonna pick up that kill as well. 2 early kills now on the bot side. Braum has to be careful here. Gets hit up by the trap. Now Kate Amelia gonna run down the Shinara Braum. Lots of damage. Not gonna be enough for a kill though. But the flash in can't get the net to connect.
Okay, good flash by the Braum to keep themselves safe there. Okay. So Silas is getting big. Couple of assists to their name. I really like the idea of repeatedly visiting that top lane because I don't think Shen needs too terribly many of the kills themselves. So if I was Silas, I would be going up there and last hitting to my heart's content onto that Rise.
Yeah, I mean, you would have preferred that kill to go over to the silos for sure, but end of the day, it was a successful gank, didn't really cost you anything, other than the Shen flash, which, again, not going to necessarily need that in terms of the lane, as we see the Chaos Storm getting used just to push out this wave. Troggy wants to get a good reset off for the grubs, wants to be in a position for those grubs, and doesn't have the TP to make it happen.
Alright, and nothing happening imminently? Okay.
Every time
Taunt
we say
landing.
that, a Shen taunt comes through again.
Yep.
Not much damage on either side, especially now with the Negatron cloak for that Shen and the cornucopia of defensive items on the Rise. But that is what you do. You know, you're going the I'm assuming the rod into a tier. Surprised they haven't gone the tier just yet. You want to be stacking that as quick as possible to get towards that Seraphs. Again, I'm no Rise player, but that's I'm pretty sure that's the standard. Yes, we know we can't see the top side of the map. I will look to fix it at a whenever there's a lull state. There's assuredly gonna be a pause coming through at some point.
Oh yeah.
But don't want to detract too much from the gameplay itself, as we see another taunt coming through here from Chet. Does look to pull back the sword. Not going to be doing it just yet. And we see Boybot is coming up for this gank. There is no flash on the Shen. Has no W. Has no E. Should fall here. And Troggy going to pick that one up. That is massive as these grubs are spawning.
Yeah, Victor up there too. Emilio's roamed up for the Victors. However, red team Poro Professors really got the jump on that.
They do have to jump on that, but Shen
rotation.
has to stand united. Shen is here in just a second. Zinzao ult has been stolen there by the Silas. Shen has to look to teleport in on the Silas potentially, and they're actually just going to opt play it safe. They got the dragon, they got the 2 grubs, so they're going to call that a dub here on the Poro Professor side.
Wonderful. Good job. Okay. Both teams, that was really, really clean play. 2-1 on the grubs. Apparently Vader didn't like my compliment. So can you, what's the term I shall use? Compliment him so his ego can be, padded for today?
I mean, I've definitely, well, you know, I don't know if I saw a second payment come through. I'd have to go check the logs. I'll have to hold off on that as Braum gets hit up there by the trap, into the stun, into the chain. Damage coming through from the Caitlyn. The net going to connect. One more auto will do it. Braum does not have a flash. Is able to get out, but the ace in the hole is available for Kate. Not going to be able to hit up that Q. Going to be able to get out by the skin of their teeth. No, Vader knows they, you know, they talk loud with a chance. Well-regarded member of the LBLCS. Started up their own org this season, Imperial. Think they've definitely got at least one team in playoffs. I know, you know, it's hard to keep track with how many leagues and how many teams we've got this season. But I believe the Imperial audit
Marauders
team, yes, I believe that one is in playoffs for sure. The one with what's his face, JCB, that's the name.
Very good.
Yes.
I am super impressed that Braum got away, by the way.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Boybot coming down trying to gank, not gonna be able to hit up. The wind becomes lightning though.
Okay. All right. Oh, you know jungler ability names.
Yeah. Well, try. You know, it's part of the tools of the trade. You know, learning all the abilities. Is that's gonna be a dash in there from Tokyo.
Nice.
Gonna get a lot of damage off onto the Victor, forcing out the flash, but the turret shot going to dissuade the Silas from continuing. But I would not be surprised if we see a repeat visit from the Silas here in just a little bit.
That's pretty important though, because excuse me, Victor just used sneezing, sorry. Victor just used TP to get back into lane and is forced back already with no flash and no ult. They did use that ult in that attempted gank as well, or that gank, it was not attempted. So a lot of resources were used, and Victor lost a couple waves of farm mid lane because of it and a plate. So even if they didn't get the kill, it was still really worthwhile to get Captain Clutch, excuse me, some pressure in that lane.
Yeah, and all that being said, though, Drag gonna be picked up there by the Poro Professors. And that's already the feats of monsters over to them. One more kill for blue side, gonna get them the feats of battle warrior. I forget all the names. It's feats of I think it's feats of warfare is the 3 kills.
Feats of strength.
Well, the feats of strength is like the overall. Like getting the 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, feats of warfare.
Feats of monster, and then I think it's just called feat of tower. I always just call it tower feat. Well, that's a weird picture.
First tower.
Anyway, we're seeing some item completions coming through here. Sundered Sky for the Zinzao, Rocket Belt for the Silas, Syndra on that Luden's companion already, whereas Victor is still working towards their, I believe that's the Leandries that they're working on, and Yuntal comes out for the Cape.
Nice. Leandries? I believe that's Black Fire Torch.
That is Black Fire Torch, yes, with the Lost Chapter.
Like, Leandries, I don't see the mask. What?
Yeah.
We're okay.
Kate working on these towers quite a bit. Already down to 2 plates here. You expect this with the Kate Melio. Taking a look at kind of the gold diff here, just a little after 10 minutes. You can see pretty evened up across the board. Really, you know, a 500 gold lead overall for Death by Deep Board, but most of that is on your Melio.
That is a bit hilarious.
I'm not really sure where the Melio has such a gold lead too, because their vision score is the same.
Because
their
Braum had to back when a couple of wards were crashed.
Gotcha.
And I think gold from potentially last hitting little grublets in the top lane Void Grubs take. because those don't show up as CS.
That is true. Solid damage coming here from the Rise. Now has the Blasting Wand. Working towards that that Roa. Should be a little bit of ways away. Again, the sooner you get that rod, the better on these Roa champs. You want to get that extra level when it really is impactful. Just going to keep this Shen under tower. Now you start to see that CS difference starting to balloon a little bit.
That is expected into a ranged versus melee matchup, though, particularly when Shen doesn't have terribly much kill pressure. They're still doing quite well, though. I'm not really worried about Shen's ability to impact this map at all.
No, but with that, we haven't actually seen the Stand United come through just yet. Both these teams playing pretty reserved. There haven't really been opportunities. But that is kind of one of the main beneficiaries of going this Shen pick is being able to impact the map and then teleport. Although they might be the ones finding themselves needing a Shen ult coming through. Xin Zhao stops that base. They're looking for a dive here. Shen going to have to outplay this one. Pulls back their sword. Ready to go. And that's enough to dissuade them. Now we see Soldex forcing the Inara away under tower. Ultimate gets popped here. Now we're going to have an invade here at this blue buff. We're going to be seeing a fight come through here. Chaos Storm come through over the top. Xin Zhao with the Crest Guard doing so much damage on a Trog. He does not have the flash. Will be the Feats of Warfare picked up there by blue side. And now the stun lock there onto Xin Zhao. They opted into the invade and they lost it 2-0 for blue side. Yeah.
Melia showing up there just to make sure everybody was nice and healed up. Already in place for that.
Rise came in with the ultimate, trying to support the team. Did not go in their favor. They did get picked off, and it also was a tower taken on the bot side, which means your overall feats of strength going over to Death by Deep Ward.
Yeah. All within about 30 seconds there. Great job by Death by Deep Ward. Looks like they're picking up the Rift Herald as well, so we're going to see Void Grubs 1 or 2. Who got the 2 Void Grubs before?
Well, so red side got the 2 grubs.
Okay.
But they will pick up this Rift Herald here. Really, that's a caster curse, if you ask me. I said how, it was dead even, and, neither team have been looking for the Shen ultimate, making any scraps happen. And then we immediately have our first scrap of the game.
And it went fairly one-sidedly. Sylas now is 1-0-4. How do you like this level of income for Sylas here?
It's definitely, going solid for them so far. Little surprised they didn't opt into a Dark Seal. That's kind of one of the, the staple picks. You pick up that early Dark Seal and you try to just, snowball the game early. But they're on that Rocket Belt. They're sitting on quite a bit of gold in their base, I do believe. Likely going to be working towards that Shadow Flame second item as Soldig's going to get hit up there by the Braum Q. They could look to force. Not too interested, though, as a taunt comes through. Solid damage coming through from Chet now.
Yeah.
And this
Shen is starting to really hurt up there.
Third drag's going to get started up. Syndra has to flash away. And despite the gold difference, we're actually going to be seeing a teleport coming in from the Shen. Rise cannot answer. Does not have a teleport. They're going to look to fight this one out. Soldig's on the bot side. Flash in from Tokyo. Going to go in onto the Braum with just one. Braum ultimates traded on both sides. And there won't be a continued fight here as the dragon is going to be slain by blue side. But Boybot goes in, gets flashed. Taunted on by Chet. Going to use the Crescent Guard to try and do the damage that they can. Buy themselves time. Tokyo goes in, gets the kill. Ends up being a 1-0 and the Drake to blue side.
Good play by both teams. I actually really liked how Boybot looked for the Caitlyn, who was kind of by herself off to the side. Team wasn't quite in position to follow up on that, but I really did like that look to try and pick off the EDC.
Yeah, aggressive there. Ghost can use there by Soldig's. Not going to lead to a whole lot, but the Rift Herald going to charge here in the mid lane. Will take that turret, and this gold lead is starting to become a problem for red side. Now nearly 4,000. Rift Herald going to get their crash off, and we'll see if Syndra does have the ultimate. Got to be careful here if you are this Victor.
Okay, so early lane, probably fairly expectedly with the Sylas, Syndra, Caitlyn going towards the side of the Dead by Deep Ward. Do you think the scaling out of Professors is strong enough in order to get back into this game?
I mean, I definitely think, if this gold lead doesn't balloon, I do think it's doable because you did get those first 2 dragons, right? And so you can't afford to kind of give over a couple here. You don't have to, there's not like a soul win con for blue side. You can look to maybe give a dragon and play for a turret on the other side, or maybe get a shutdown if the Syndra ever finds yourself out of position. She did use that flash in the prior play. You have the flash on your Xin Zhao. Those are things I'm looking at. So there definitely are angles here, as we are going to see a flash force out there on the Melio by Braum Yunara.
Okay. That is a very, very squishy champion who, if caught... Ooh. Okay. They don't decide to go get in on that.
Scrap here. Boybot gets caught out there by Tokyo, and then the Syndra over the top. Crescent Guard gets used there by the Xin Zhao, but there is no one to help. Silas going to go on a killing spree there, trying to find an opportunity to get back in the game, but they're just finding themselves falling farther behind.
That is certainly not ideal. Syndra and Silas getting that roam down into the bot lane at a really good timing. I love that with that longer lane, she's able to push it up to where she doesn't feel safe and then roam down to the bot lane. Who also... I don't know if bot lane gets to be out there safely with both mid outer and bot outer turret there.
We see the taunt come through onto the Rise as the rest of the team just hitting up on the Atacon. Rhythmic has to use that flash, and this Atacon is getting burned quickly. Boybot is coming through with the Hextech Portals. They are looking like they want to try and contest the 7,000. We've seen many a game get lost at an Atacon just like this. Does Boybot have the momentum to get this steal to come through? Can they even get a chance? Syndra's not going to connect their 3,000. And they're looking like they're indecisive on the call. Shen goes in with the taunt, doesn't have a whole lot else. Gonna be picking up this Atacon. Redemption comes through, and they're gonna opt to not fight.
I love the Shen going out and zoning out for the team. That was fantastic. Able to secure the space and prevented the team fight and Professors being able to get in to poke out the team while they were shredded by Otacon.
Yeah, ultimately is going to help them secure a, slightly under 4K gold lead here. What's that, about 3.6, 3.7? My math's never been the best. They're in a really good spot. They're, down 1 Drake, but again, you have that gold lead. You can certainly fight these future drags coming through. Syndra nearly has that flash back up, so it should be a lot safer. Caitlyn still has their flash. The Silas has a big shutdown, and it's going to be hard to kill as they've gone for the Rift Maker, so they're looking to play the more... the sustained fight in your face kind of build.
Okay. I do like that. Because their team only has Shen as a sole frontliner, I really do like Silas going a slightly more durable build, able to heal up by doing damage. And definitely with 3-0 and 4 at 21 minutes into the game, he's going to be dealing out tons of damage in order to sustain with.
Gonna see this this battle for vision, every support's favorite part of the game. Just clearing out wards on either side. We see a little invade coming through here from Boybot. Double stun connecting there from Captain Clutch, and the engage is likely going to come through here. Braum has a flash, has their ultimate stolen. Can Tokyo get in range? Has no cooldowns just yet. Is going to use the chains, hit up onto the Braum, who is going to be a sacrificial lamb here perhaps. No flash, nothing for them to do. Going to be able to pick up that kill. Tokyo is feeling themselves, goes back in with the second E. Going to connect there onto the Xin Zhao. Does have the flash, might have to use to get out. Crescent Guard right onto the trap, into the stun. Uses the flash, but so many flashes coming through. And it's going to be a kill there for Syndra. Did cost them their flash, but 2 more kills for nothing.
That was another really strong play. It is very hard to run away from that team.
And that's the thing with the Silas pick. Just you have the seemingly limitless cooldowns. Once you start to get into that mid to late game, you can constantly stick on people, especially with that rocket belt to kind of get it started. Really good stuff here from the Silas pick. Has certainly found themselves in a sweet spot here in game number 1, as they should start stacking these Hextech Dragons.
I wonder if Silas not being a terribly meta jungler right now means that Professors haven't played against it much. So it might just be sort of a novel thing for them to play against. And that could explain some of their discomfort around the champion, shall we say?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly a, kind of an avalanche champ, if you will. You know, once the ball starts rolling, it rolls really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certainly rolled into a pretty dominant spot at this point. You know, your Shen is always there to give the stand united if he ever gets caught out of position. You know, your Emilio's there to support the Caitlyn, who really doesn't even have to be, you know, the star character of this game.
Correct. Which is fine. She can just sit there and farm. I do want to point out that the Professors are farming beautifully on their carry lanes. The Yunara and Victor pretty much tied for most farm in the game. They're going back and forth, doing very, very well for themselves. And one thing we see in economy versus the other leagues is that game times tend to be on average a little bit longer because sometimes the teams can struggle with some of the decisive calls to close out games. So I wonder if Death by Deep Ward is going to be able to close out the game in time to prevent the scaling out of the Professors.
Yeah, we find ourselves with another scrap here. Xin Zhao using their Crescent Guard, likely to be traded here by the Silas. Boybot might not even get the chance, gets stunned up there. Rampage for Captain Clutch, and Tokyo is not letting off the gas pedal here.
I would like to point out, because I think kill participation is a fantastic gauge of a jungler's ability in many cases. Tokyo has a perfect 10 KDA in a 10 kill game. It is beautiful.
Yeah, Tokyo playing super, super well here on this Silas. Really kind of, you know, slow beginnings. You know, the objectives were going the way of the poor Professors, but things are very heavily in their favor at this point. Baron going to be picked up by blue side, traded for this mid tower. I like this call. You know, there's no way to contest the Baron, so at least get something back in your pockets, open up the map a little bit on red side.
I really liked their decision to go and take that mid turret while the Baron was being taken. Much safer than attempting to contest the Baron at this stage.
Shout out to Lil Robot Man, always reliably in the chat for one point in the stream to let us know that LeChance licks toes. It has been, oh gosh, almost coming up on 10 seasons of that, and it still rings true to this day.
It does. Well, I mean, behaviors need to change before assumptions about them do, so what can we say? All right, a bit of a lull state. Death by Deep Ward looks like they're just going around setting up a 4-1 push, which I like with that Shen. Silas is ridiculously strong and can be a facsimile of a frontliner for their team at this time. Also, the tremendous amount of damage they have in the shielding and healing coming out of Melio means Shen will have enough time to ult into a fight if needed. So I really like this 4-1 call.
Yeah, it's really good stuff here coming through from them. Mid bot tower is going to fall here. Rhythmic going to get absolutely deleted. Ace in the hole over the top from Soldig's going to pick up that kill. And now Tokyo has to be a little bit careful. Do still have the Shen ultimate to come through. Maybe going to see a dash in here from Silas onto the Xin Zhao. Not going to connect there with the second E. But this bot inhibitor is going to fall nice and quickly. You got Trog in the top side trying to push out. And now Tokyo finds himself in a little bit of trouble. Uses the flash to get out. Shen not using the ultimate just yet, holding on. Syndra now having to position as the front line, and they might have done enough to get them out. Maybe stop this bleeding just a little bit.
They didn't call for that Shen ult, though. Shen is still happily pushing top lane, has taken that outer turret, taken another wave, and they're rotating around to the mid after clearing out that bot lane. And I would like to call out and compliment Speth on Melio for having the impeccably perfect KDA score of 007.
Yeah, speaking of compliments, right before this next dragon, we do have Sammy 2Slap cashing in a caster compliment. Of course, Sammy has done a lot of work over the seasons in the LBLCS, joining staff, doing roster verification, helping out with tickets, all that fun stuff, doing some of the like the streaming schedule stuff as well, as Melio gonna find themselves taking the wrong side of that blast cone. Sammy is obviously a valued member of the community as well. As this dragon gets deleted by blue side. find yourself in a bit of a tough spot as the Poro professors
Mm-hmm.
here. You're really going to kind of look for like a really, advantageous fight. Trying to catch the Syndra by herself. Maybe doing a little bit of bush cheese to catch out the Silas. You need to get these shutdowns on your prime members. Your Yunara, your Rise,
Oh,
Victor. Taunt not going to connect there. And we see the W is going to deny the concussive blow stacks from starting there.
yep. That was really nice. The Q from Braum not quite landing and then becoming immune to auto attacks means Braum passive doesn't do a darn thing.
Now, one thing with this inhibitor being down, it does offer Troggy a safe lane to push out. Get that bonus gold, experience, kind of get themselves in a solid spot in the game as they are quietly, working towards that third item, working towards the Zanyas. Boybot going to get caught out here a little bit in their own jungle, but Tokyo doesn't even care. Going in onto the Yunara on the other side of the map. Xin Zhao is dead. Yunara is dead. Braum is dead. And I believe we'll see a push up here through the top side, and maybe they try and end game number 1 here.
Mm-hmm. That is a big old wave they have streaming into that top turret, and we'll see if they decide to push to the win. I do believe they for sure have time to do it. The rest of the team, Rise and Victor, are deciding not to back at this time.
They're gambling that they can't get this end to come through. They're trying to play for those objective bounties. Top turret is down. Top inhibitor's going to fall here as well. Trog gets to use the Chaos Storm onto the Shen, who gets the successful taunt off. But now Rise is now looking to reset, but it might be too late. One tower has fallen. The second is close here as well. And minions are starting to get low, so they are playing it safe. Troggy has to use the teleport, but they're just going to be able to walk this one out.
Ooh. So they make the call to back out and regroup and push again another day. Okay, so there is a 8k gold lead. More or less. 7-ish k gold lead for Death by Deep Ward. Which, by the way, is a delightful name that I personally identify with very, very, very strongly. Yeah, I do that a lot. But professors do have the advantage of scaling. So we will need to see. They have, in many ways, stemmed the bleeding. Their farming is excellent. Victor having 286 farm in this game is crazy. Yunara is doing very well as well. She's almost got her IE coming in, only even on items with that Caitlyn as they start the Baron.
They're making the call. They can't contest the Baron. They're trying to make a cross-net play onto Chet. Does get signed up there. Has already used the flash. The Glacial Fissure comes through. Yunara going to be able to pick up that shutdown. That is a nice hefty amount of gold into the Yunara's pocket, and they might also be able to take this bot tier 1 as well. But look in the mid lane. The rest of them are pushing. They're looking to end this game. Objective bounty going to get claimed there on the bot side, and the bounties have actually fallen off here, surprisingly. Rhythmic trying to hold them off here in the mid lane. Not going to be able to do a whole lot about it, though.
They are getting a bit more wave clear of Yunara back in base, though. So
Tokyo dashes in, Crescent Guards, knocks Rise into the enemy team. Xin Zhao is deleted. Rise is getting super low. They're going to be the next to fall. They're able to pick that one up. Flash comes through from the Braum. 3v4 here for 20 seconds until Shen comes through. Flash, stun come through from Syndra. Not going to be able to use any other abilities, though. Wave is depleted. Tokyo gets another ultimate come through on the Silas, and that is the fun of this jungle Silas. You get to late game, you can just steal ultimates every 5 seconds, it feels like. One cannon is left. Top wave is coming in. Mid wave is coming in. It is do or die for the side of Poro Professors.
Good bit of poke coming out on this Caitlyn, though, requiring some Melio top off. Yunara is really starting to deal a bunch of damage. On 3 items.
Crashing in, flash in there from Tokyo. Gets the 2-man knock with the Braum ultimate. Going to be able to get a ton of damage off. The towers have fallen. Nexus is exposed. Tokyo gets out, goes back in. It looks like actually going to get chains. You see their Crescent Guard going to do a lot of damage, but not enough as the base will fall to Death by Deep Ward, putting themselves up 1-0.
That was such a good game 1, though. Death by Deep Ward just did really great job playing for those win cons. Tokyo was truly a standout player in that whole game, just really played towards exactly what they needed to do in order to get themselves and the team ahead, and they won very cleanly from it. Okay. Um, Caitlyn did damage. Syndra did damage. And Silas did damage. Like a lot of damage. Could you push
I think if
the money
you're
button to the right a couple
I
times?
think if you're a blue side fan, that is really what you're looking for. You're looking for heavy damage coming through. Uh,
Nice.
and those
Nice.
are a little bit of stats here. We will see what adaptations the poor professors look to make here. Again, they are now finding themselves on match point. They're gonna need to find a way to reverse sweep this one. What would you be doing differently if you are the poor professors here?
Honestly, grateful that it's fearless and we don't have to use a ban on Silas. Because the hunk really took over that game. So I would look at the Hunks champion pool and see what else I could take out, see what other snowballing carry high mobility champions are there. So I don't have to play against them. I think hamstringing the jungler role would be a good thing to look at.
And channel predictions have been paid out. Those of you who bet on Death by Deep Ward, congratulations on your minor returns. Of course, they were the favorite based on the odds going
Hmm.
in. But hopefully we got ourselves a series here. Just waiting on them to decide who's going where. I have now gotten the tournament code, and so I will be sending us into this next game. And it looks like we've got a switch here. It looks like the poor professors are going to be going blue side.
Ooh. Okay, so that just makes things so fun for the overlay.
Oh, of course. That's my favorite thing to do. And speaking of, we're going to go ahead and just get this one out of the way now. People really get bothered when we have these on the wrong side. And this is as high budget as I like to do it here at the LBLCS. It really just makes it feel more, more authentic, I would say. So we're
Mm-hmm.
going to do DDWs over here. Although people are saying DBD, we'll go DBD. Although I think it's a little bit of a, intellectual copyright infringement. But what do I know? Absolutely nothing is the answer. And we are on 0-1, so I will fill up our bottle here. I like how in the images, Buggle named this as the real 0-1 for season 15. And just back over here. Let's grab the links. Oh, shout out to Bear in the chat. Hashtag minions win.
Lovely.
I mean, I could do that, Sammy, but there really is no but. I could, but we've laid in this bed that we have laid in. Gonna wait for them to switch us over to draft number 2. That is not quite the right. Yeah, there we go. So I was just sitting here waiting. We're waiting for them to decide who's going where.
Mm-hmm.
Or well, they've decided as far as like the lobby, but they haven't actually done it on the site just yet. I think I saw a little bit of talk about it in chat. There wasn't a super reliable engage on red side that game. The Xin Zhao Braum can pair well together, but when you're fighting
Yeah,
from behind, you can't really start any type of fight on your own, which did make it a
correct.
little tough. So maybe a
Yeah.
better go button for now they'll be
You
blue
mean like
side.
Sejuani?
Perhaps the Sejuani could have looked good. I don't think the Sejuani solves everything from that game, but I certainly think it
No,
would have given them an opportunity, as I do think that blue side just played really, really well that game.
they did. Do you also feel that focusing on the hunk in draft and making sure they are off some of their more comfort champions could be a good way to sort of reset mentally and look at doing well this game?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, putting down the jungle pool definitely makes a lot of sense. We'll have to see if they look to kind of switch up the bans a little bit. I mean, last game I know the Volibear was banned. Presuming
Mhm.
that was towards the jungler here, Boybot, who again is kind of like on paper the highest ranked player on either team. But definitely that game Tokyo showed up to play. Gonna
Yep.
have to show them something a little different this time than the Silas. Let's see. Still does not look like we're in the draft number 2 just yet, as I simply am incorrect. We are into draft. I need to switch around our logos real quick. Once again, very
Okay.
very high production. I tried using the the actual site, which like great job by like Ducky Lord and Ruffian. Unfortunately, I missed the training video on how to do it, so we're just gonna do the point and drag. Uh, we are out into draft now, and I believe nothing's going through just
We're
yet.
just
Nice and
waiting
slow.
for bands. Yep. Ash band coming out of the Professors.
I think similar bands here so far. Ash, Volibear were both
Yep.
taken off the table last time. I think we saw Mordekaiser coming out here as well for Poor Professor, so could see that be a repeat here. Not a fun champion to play against whatsoever.
Correct. Being taken to Brazil in the middle of a fight is off-putting.
Yeah, vacations are great, but only when you get to choose to go on them. Nautilus was also
Yeah.
banned away last game. Really, really strong, engaged support. We'll see if anything switches up here, because so far it's been pretty much the same.
Yeah, this looks very, very familiar to me so far.
My time machine, it seems to be working.
Excellent.
They're taking their time here a little bit with these bans. They're thinking hard. Again, Poor Professors, if they lose this game, their season is unfortunately over, just like that. Playoffs here in the LBLCS. Mostly single
Okay,
elimination.
Nocturne ban. I like that. I
Yep.
really like that. I so hate playing against a Nocturne.
And to be the B1 Lilia, that has my my ears peaked. I am a major fan of the deer. But it's definitely a confident picking on B1 here.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me that you would fawn over her.
I see what you did there. She's full clear aficionado. Get your camps, get your CS, get your item spikes, and then wreak havoc on the Rift. Going to be answered with an Echo potentially, which is actually one of the harder matchups for Lilia to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Can really stick on Lilia, who relies so heavily on that movement speed. Could be a bit of a difficult matchup there for what I'm assuming is that jungle counter pick, but it could also be mid lane.
It could be, although with how the Hunk played last game, I would not be surprised if they also play Echo.
Yeah, and we're
I
gonna
like
see
the
the
Jinx pickup
Jinx.
here.
It's not B1, so Ruffian would be okay with it. Jinx is
Mm-hmm.
super, super strong at the moment. And especially, if the fights are kind of playing out the way they did that last game, get one Jinx reset, and it's going to be wraps.
Okay, let's see what they respond to. Oh, they don't want to interact. I see. Oh, never mind.
This is a comp that I'm a big fan of. Of course, me and my team love playing the MF Lilia. Usually when I pair it up with an engaged support to kind of enable that Lilia. You do not want frontline Lilia
Absolutely.
under almost any circumstances. So whether it's like a
Nautilus is
Leona
already
or an
banned out. Yeah.
Alistar, a Rel even, there's a lot of different options. And it's going to be Poppy, which I'm assuming is going to
Ooh,
support, kind of
I
fills that box.
really like that into Echo, though. I don't care where it goes. I really like it into the Echo.
Another very fun or very unfun champ. Poppy negates almost everything that I play. So I am not the biggest fan. Just a little nuisance, and especially if it's on that support role.
Mm-hmm.
It can look to invade, get in
Yes.
your face at level 1, and just be a big old meanie. And then there's that Mordekaiser that was banned away from game 1.
Yep. So Poppy might go to Brazil. Okay, we see top laner bans coming out here for Death by Deep Board. Let's see what the Poro professors respond with.
Yeah, the Mundo takeaway. They're assuming that this Poppy is going support, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is probably the right call.
Yeah,
Which is interesting. Definitely can get punished if you blind pick it, especially if they go like a
I like that.
Enchanter on this Jinx, or to pair with the
The
Jinx rather.
Poppy is so support because Zyra really just doesn't care what Poppy does and eats her down from afar,
Mm-hmm.
pokes her into an oblivion. And there's another big beefy top laner taken out. Makes sense.
That
Mordekaiser wants something they can defeat and lane readily.
Well, that one interests me a little bit because I know, I mean, Mordekaiser kind of thrives on kind of those, extended fights where they can just kind of keep their passive, their conquer kind of going forever. And, Sion can't really can't do a whole lot to stop it. Leona going to be the pickup into the Poppy. So a bit of a,
Okay.
self, they're playing for the team.
I don't like that. I've been that Leona, and it doesn't feel real good at all. Even in team fights, it feels bad.
Yeah, it's
I would
definitely.
have far preferred an Alistar or something here.
Yeah, Poppy really good at negating a lot of those engages. Gonna be picking up the Ari in the mid lane.
Ooh.
And we'll see what our top lane pick into this Mordekaiser is going to be. Do they go something that wants to scrap? Do they go like a Trundle? Is kind of a fun little interaction in the top lane. Whichever one of those two champions ults first ends up losing the fight. Or do they go something safe to play for this team, play for this MF Lilia with a couple seconds on the clock? It's going to be a scrapper. It's going to be the Garen.
Yep. I really like that just as a strong, simple, impossible to ignore frontliner. Huh.
Not to
And I
mention
really do like.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I really like that Poppy is not the only frontliner. Lilia has both Garen and Poppy to dance around. And actually, outside of the MF, they have an incredible mobile team in their two main carries, AP carries.
And our last pick is going to be Ziggs. This is a very AP heavy draft on the side of Death by Deep Ward, but they've got that Jinx in their back pocket, and they are hoping that that we see a similar performance that we did last game coming through from Soldiggs, who again in that lane had a ton of pressure on the Caitlyn, even if maybe their other teammates were stealing all the limelight.
So, what do you think of how the Poro professors sort of solved out their issues with Draft 1, in particular regarding their engage potential?
I still don't think they have the most reliable engage. Poppy is great for like pick. Yeah, you can stun someone up against the wall, or use a W when Leona tries to go in, or Echo. But they don't have like a Magnet Storm. They don't have an Alistar that can go with like the Headbutt Pulverize. They don't have an Ornn in the top lane. They kind of just have the pick from Poppy, and then you got the Flash Sleep coming through from Lilia. And as a avid Lilia player, Charm also goes in line with that like pick style, right? It's there's not a whole lot of multi-man CC, which is really what your MF wants, right? That two pair so well, right? Because Lilia puts him to sleep and MF puts him in the coffin.
Yep.
But it's gonna be a lot of pressure, I believe, on those two to kind of make it happen. Where am I getting? I'm getting ping. Apparently, I ended up as the host of this lobby somehow. Not sure.
That's hilarious.
Not sure how I ended up having those powers. We'll switch it over here to game number 2, and I will go ahead and get the predictions started here, as you're free to give any thoughts you have on the game.
I really hope we get a game 3 out. I'm a little bit upset that Leona was picked into Poppy. I definitely think the professors did a fantastic job setting up their lanes for success. Like, I think they will have a pretty good time in lane. I mean, last game, their solo laners were up in CS. they were winning lane outside of the jungle pressure. So unless the Hunk can get more done, I could see it going very similarly. And definitely with an MF, Ari, Garen, those champions can get out of hand, particularly Garen in that top lane. So I'll be looking for the Professors to take advantage of that. But also with those strong lanes, that will allow Lilia to do some farming up so that she can be a bit safer. Because they're not going to have Prio in bot lane, because Jinx just wants to hang back and farm. Her ideal positioning in lane is definitely taken advantage of by the MF. Leona can't do much into that Poppy. She's pretty well negated, so a lot of the pressure in that lane is taken out. She can only really engage when she has ult and hits it well. I would definitely hope that MF takes cleanse here for that very reason. Ziggs will exist, but I don't think Ziggs Ari much will happen. Ziggs just wants to hang back and farm. How does Garen do into the Mordekaiser? I actually don't know how that matchup goes, but I imagine Garen doesn't give two shits about it. Really?
I mean, I would imagine that Garen wants a snowball. I mean, again, you pick it as your counter pick. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rhythmic go like an ignite here and really try to like win this lane early. You know, make the Mordekaiser not super relevant. Because again, if Garen falls behind, not gonna be doing a ton in terms of team fighting prowess. But if they're in a good spot on the side of the map, they can split push like a demon. So that's kind of what I'm looking for from Rhythmic Tragedy here. Again, we are here tonight for economy playoffs. If you are interested, I just saw that some playoff power rankings just came out by Sorrow in the LBLCS content channel over on the Discord server. It's like right towards the top. Was a great read. I was looking over it prior to the series, just familiarize myself a little bit with these teams. Right. I'm not totally crazy, am I? I believe it was. Yeah, economy playoff power ranks. I almost like gaslit myself into thinking it was the wrong league. It was not.
Okay.
It was a good read. Go and check that out. And Chad is saying that Mord should win.
By a little bit. Okay.
And I'm inclined to trust.
Awesome.
Trusting Twitch chat has never let me down, ever, not even once.
Not even once?
Well, that's not true. Pickle haters let me down many times in Twitch chat.
That's just expected, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's such a constant with it, though. It's really delightful. You can really rely on him for it. It's a source of comfort in many ways, you know?
It's it's a tale as old as time, right? You know, every time around this time of year, you know, the weather gets colder, the days grow shorter, and Pickle Hater
so much shorter.
Just yammers on about worlds. Just truly, there are a few people I've ever met on this planet that are as anti-peanut as Pickle Hater. Even those with allergies seem to like peanut more than this guy.
Wow.
All jokes aside,
you think his name would be Peanut Hater?
You would think, but unfortunately, no, Pickle. I respect Pickle's passion for competitive League of Legends at the highest level, even if there have been server channels that have been deleted due to excessive pro play talk by Mr. Pickle Hater. Rest in peace, the pro play chat in high alert. Surely Bear had leaked that at one point. Minute left on the spectator delay. Get your predictions in now if you have the chance. Thank you to Town Gaming showing up in the chat. Hope you're doing well. We've got, let's take a look at our predictions here. Again, pretty in favor of Death by Deep Ward this time. So again, smart money would be on blue side here. Poor Professors. Again, win or go home. And I think everyone would like to see a 3-game series either way. So
absolutely. I mean, the Poro Professors did effectively win lanes in their solo lanes. So if they can come out of laning with a lead again and have the hunk not become an absolute unstoppable beast in the jungle, um, I don't see any reason why the Poor Professors couldn't bring this into a game 3. They are fully capable of it. They have won plenty of games this season, and I would be thrilled to see them win another tonight.
Yeah, and we will see if I can finagle this mini map to work properly here at the start
Oh,
of this
thank
game.
you.
Yep. We'll see if I can get it to work. If for whatever reason it chooses not to, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I suppose. Take a look at our skin game. A lot of, or a
Oh,
couple of no
we're
skins on the side.
naked Garen and Lilia?
Lilia. So again, those who know me know that I have it's a bit of a superstition when it comes to Lilia. There are some skins that you play when you think you're gonna 1v9. There are some skins that you wear when you think it's an awful game for Lilia. But they have chosen to go naked Lilia as here, let me move it for a second.
Uh-huh, it's like a single pixel.
It doesn't really
Uh-huh.
help the camera. It's just not.
Takes it away. Yep.
Doesn't seem super conducive. Maybe like that looks good enough. That is where we're gonna have
Nice.
it. You can see the whole map,
Mhm.
and that's gonna get us out here onto the Rift game
That's
number
what I
2.
settled on to.
Once again,
Could
Shinji going with the control ward instead of buying pots approach. Definitely think that's a risky
why
venture on this Poppy.
is the ADC not in the tri-bush again? Okay, it's fine. Could you zoom in on the Echo skin? Because I think Echo might be dressed super appropriately for this season.
That is
I am so happy.
Fright Night Echo. The whole Fright Night skin line is very, very good. I'm personally a big fan of the Vigar, even though I don't play Vigar.
It's a great skin.
It certainly is a great skin. Direct to cam, gonna get us off here in just a second. I'll get my mouse out the way. Both junglers starting on this top side, and we'll see if we have any early action coming through here from Tokyo on this Echo.
Okay.
And we're getting
And
some intel from chat.
Harpy is
I was just about to say Lilia main on Lilia main here for Boybot, which I'm a Lilia. Well, I like to say I'm Lilia main. Unfortunately, in competitive, I get put on the Sejuani duty quite a bit. But Lilia, probably my favorite champ to play, so I'm super excited to see what they decide to do here. Nothing too exciting here so far from any of the lanes.
And just in case my jungler is watching the stream right now, he plays Sejuani because it's important to play frontline CC tanks in organized play.
That's right. Rhythmic just going to catch this big wave under the tower, and we see that pink ward is going to get spotted out here, so it's going to be a little bit of a donation to the Jinx potentially, but there is the stun, not going the aftershock. The Zenith Blade does not connect, and they are actually be able to defend that ward.
That was River Height shenanigans because I saw that E go through the Poppy.
Yes, it did, and there are Conqueror stack for both sides, but Mordekaiser has that passive ticking with the shield. Going to ultimately come out the winning side of that trade, but Garen does have that passive, does have the healing coming through, so we'll see if there's potentially going to be a solo kill up here on the top side as both junglers just working on their camps. Lilia slightly faster done with their 5th camp, so in theory should be at this scuttle first.
Yeah. It'll
Garen.
be interesting to see how they prioritize those early objectives.
Yeah, and it looks like Tokyo going to be a little slow here on this clear, so it does mean that Boybot's going to have first move onto the scuttle. Could look to get a little bit of a double scuttle here, which would be a massive early game advantage for this Lilia. As,
Wow,
Echo just wrap up their 6th camp here, so now it's just up to Boybot. They actually look for a gank here in the mid lane, although the direct cam wants us to see bot. We do see the charm, stops at Ziggs, bump back, and the Lilia. One more Q is going to do it. Do they look for the flash under tower? Yes, they do. First blood over to Boybot on their main champion.
Beautiful. And they're going to get the scuttle as well. That is huge for Lilia, right?
Yeah,
Goodness.
actually helping out the Ahri get their wave in. Nice and helpful We see Echo has now shown back up here on the top side. Is going to see that scuttle is being contested. And with Ariana reset, there is an opportunity for Echo to look to contest. Do they look to go for it? And it looks like, well, Direct Cam doesn't want us to see. But Lilia used a smite as the stun connects on the wall onto the Jinx. Soltix has to flash out. Solar gets it out there with the exhaust. They can't look for the follow through flash.
I don't think the Ignite gets it. No, burns out. If it was pre-nerf Ignite, she would have died.
Yeah. But a lot of action here early this time, whereas last game was pretty quiet early on.
So going into their second clear, Lilia is 11 CS up on the Echo.
Yeah, and that kill, they actually opt to go for the Haunting Guise instead of a Faded Ashes. Gonna help if they look to, fight a little bit more intensely in the next couple minutes. Of course, the Faded Ashes is kind of the the standard buy when you're looking to do kind of just the full clear approach. But perhaps Boybot's not interested in full clearing on the Lilia. Has that early advantage, wants to just kind of get in the Echo's face, who's only sitting on a couple of amp tomes. Really good math in the chat. 5 assassins are objectively 5 times better than 1 assassin.
Yeah, but when your coach wants the support to play enchanters, it does not feel good.
No, but that wouldn't lead to the five assassins, right? Because the support would have to play assassin in that scenario. As Garen goes in, hits the silence off, does get stunned up by the E, gets pulled back and uses their E, has the W to try and get away from the Mord. But even just with the Ruby Crystal, it is such an annoying pick.
Oh!
Poppy maybe catching out the Jinx here, who does not have flash, has to use the Ghost, but does get hit up there by the Charm. Poppy's going to pick that kill up, and that's going to be 2 early kills for blue side, and potentially the early Cloud Dragon here.
Good job, Poro professors. Really using their early game pressure around the map. The charms hitting from this Ahri have secured both kills so far this game, with those 2 beautiful assists giving her an extra 300 gold so far, and really night and day difference from game 1. I am very happy to see it.
Yeah, they didn't, a lot of times teams, can kind of lose a game like that and kind of come into the next game with, fractured mental a little bit, they have locked in. They are not letting last game affect them, and they're looking good here so far. Now, of course, it is early, but an early 1.5k gold lead is nothing to scoff at. And we'll see if they look to kind of scrap with these grubs here in just a minute.
So we have RX saying to reject enchanters and embrace engage. Apparently, they don't know me. I have 1.6 million mastery on Leona.
Into the Death Realm, has to flash away, but Chet maybe looking under the tower, hits up the Q, not interested in flashing under the tower, but Boybot is coming up here, does have that Lilting Lullaby in tow, and Mordekaiser's at healthy enough to where I don't think Lilia wants to opt for that play. Ultimately ends up being the Garen flash for Mordalt.
Yeah. I fully support the tank engage. But let's see.
It's an honest duty. Someone has to do it.
Lil Robot Man, Melio's AP scaling on Q. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen it in ARAM. One tapping. As Grubs are going to be started up here. Both supports on the roam. They are going to catch out Spef here first. Proactive W. Going to dissuade an engage here coming through, but now Boybot could look to go back in. Playing it kind of safe here, as mid lane does have prio for the Death by Deep Ward.
I'll be honest, Leona sitting on 3 charges of her support item does not feel great. I wouldn't be surprised if she walked forward and just hit a couple of those minions in mid lane. Ooh. So Solar is doing a great job in this 1v1 lane right now. Definitely getting some pressure in on the Jinx. Is up 20 CS, which is a little bit crazy. Goodness. Death
Bomb comes through. E is going to connect there onto 2 members. Does Lee look to engage here? Speth is lurking in this brush. They don't spot the Leona. Garen's on a reset, and it looks like the call is going to be to just give over these grubs to the Ziggs, which is a really scary proposition, as well as the Jinx.
Instead, they're looking to accelerate their lead on this bot side, get a bit of engage, get the Lilia further ahead, which I'm sure you support. She already cleared her blue side, now moving down to Echo's blue side, or the Hunk's blue side, excuse me. Although the team is responding. So mid lane collapsing, Leona's there. Poppy does not get popped over the wall by the pop blossom thingy blast cone. But she's Poppy, so she walks out.
Yeah. Gonna walk it out just with the blue buff. Stun connects there onto Spef. A lot of damage coming through here. Echo W is going to connect. Stuns up the Poppy. Does Shinji have a way to get out? Uses the flash to escape. Lilia gets hit up there by the Chompers. Ends up being the Poppy summoners for nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Leona nearly lost her life there, though, so Jinx is going to be farming under this turret solo until Leona can make it back. I'm almost surprised they didn't look for a bit of a dive, but with Echo still being on that side of the map for a little bit, discretion is the better part of valor, and they move off and just let Jinx pick up this wave under turret. Probably looking to reset here and get ready for the... Do you have objective timers up?
The dragon here in about 45 seconds.
Yep, that's what I was expecting. And it's about time for dragon number 2. And they definitely want to do dragon stacking. So it's a little bit late at this point for them to get it back off comfortably. They should probably have backed on the previous wave just to be comfortable for the objective timer on Drake. But that's okay.
Of course, they don't know it. They don't know that Echo's on the other side of the map, so they will, in fact, they'll be all right. As Garen,
they'll be fine.
Every time we're coming to this lane, it's this exact trade. Although Rhythmic getting a good trade this go around, and as soon as I say that, it goes not so well. Lilia,
there's just so much back and forth in that top lane. It's gonna keep looking up there. Yep.
Echo just able to get their rocket belt here before this dragon spawns, but it's already getting started up on Rip by Boybot, by Solarsis. They are going to shred this with the Misfortune, and the Ahri has Prio as well. Has to be 2 early Drakes over to the side of the Poro Professors.
Yeah. Really clean Drake scaling so far. Let's see what the soul is going to be.
Lilia's looking to come in, does hit the E into the Q, going to withhold their sleep. Both summoners force out there of Soul Digs.
Yeah, as well as the Leona ult. Pretty short cooldown. It's about 90 seconds at this point in the game. So it should be up for any the next team fight. Oh, goodness. That CS lead has grown in bot lane.
Yeah.
MF is 40 CS up.
MF is putting the pressure on. Jinx has kind of had their flash burnt on cooldown as we see a fight here up on the top side by the Scuttle Crab, who ends up getting the smite on it. Tokyo not even going to try and stick around for it. Gets forced out, and now Garen gets pulled back in by Chet. Gets pulled into the Death Realm. Echo does not want to stick around. Can Mordekaiser get the trade kill before they fall here? Flash away, follow through flash there by Chet. Going to be a kill here for the Mordekaiser. Lilting Lullaby connects there onto Lilia with the W. Not going to get the full damage, but it will be a 1-for-1 and the Feats of Warfare over to blue side.
Beautiful job. Again, the Ahri was there, though. His charm, 0-0 and 3. These Ahri charms have been on point this game.
Yeah, right place, right time. Able to help pick up that kill. Again, right now, Lilia is your main character at the moment. Has those 2 kills, has Leandri's. Going to slow up this Jinx under tower is the Misfortune, but Echo is here. They got to be a little careful. Poppy W is going to connect. Teleport now coming through here as well. Solar Flare looking to maybe come up, and it is going to connect there onto Misfortune and slow up the Poppy as well. They're looking to dash in. Poppy trying to peel off best they can. Rocket Belt in. MF has to use their flash. Mega Death Rocket is not going to connect. The Super Death Bomb will, but they're both going to get out by the skin of their teeth.
So good by the Professor's bot lane. That was fantastic. Okay, Echo stopping the back. The Poppy played that phenomenally. Preventing the Ian from Leona, preventing the Echo from getting onto the ADC nearly as soon by shoving him away. Just heads up stellar play from Shen here, the Professor support. I'm absolutely glazing the ever-living bejesus out of them because that was really impressive.
Hey, someone's got to do it, right? Turret did go down the bot side, and then it is going to be traded for with this mid lane turret. Definitely opens up the map a lot more for blue side, but with that, I believe that feats are going to come down to this next objective, which currently looks like it's going to be the Rift Herald, slightly up before the dragon, as Poppy gonna skedaddle out of there.
Yep. She gets to walk away. Yay! Doesn't even get hit by a Ziggs cube. Thank you for the donation of 25 gold.
Poppy, though, can get aggressed on here. Does not have the W. EQ from Leona. Nice chain CC. Nothing for Poppy to do except for flash out. Rocket Belt still up here for the Echo. Is going to see the dash in there. Can they get the damage through? Yes, they can. Echo going to pick that one up, and Mordekaiser's here to help get them out. You would think. Rhythmic comes in, gets pulled back. Blast cones try to get them away from the Mordekaiser, but they are stuck here. They've got nowhere to go inside the Death Realm. They're just going to fall here. Silenced. Chet able to pick up a solo kill there, and Rift Herald should go over here to red side.
And with that, kills are evened up.
Soldigs.
Oh.
Celtics going for a ward, finds themselves in the pit, nowhere to go. Top between a rock and a hard place. Boybot gonna pick that one up. You know, the MF and Ari try to steal it away. Rightfully the junglers prey out in the wild river, but Rift Herald is picked up on the other side.
Mid turret did go down, so that means professors have feats of strength. Correct?
No, the red side had already taken the bot turret. That was the first one to go down. So
okay.
I think actually that ties up the objectives at 2-2. Because Grubs and Rift Herald went over to red side, 2 Drakes went over to blue. So this next dragon will in fact decide feats.
Awesome.
So heads up there of Jinx to save the ghost for that. Heads up, the flash will be available for this dragon fight. I do think you want to contest this if you're red side. Red
Absolutely.
did lose that turret on the bot lane, so they are down about 3,000 gold. It's going to be a bit of a tough call if they want to fight this. Echo down 2 levels to the boy bot here on the Lilia, who does get the engage off on Echo. Poppy W going to do so much work here. Chain CC, they are not going to connect there. Leona is in a rough spot. Lilting Lullaby connects her onto the Ziggs, who tries to use their W to get out, has to flash away. Boybot chasing them down. Double kill here for Boybot. 5-0 on their signature pick, and that's going to be the dragon in their favor.
Yep. Oh. I commend your use of the blast cone there, Poppy, to force your mid laner away. Yeah, the bot side jungle for red side, in fact, belongs to the Poro professors. They are definitely stronger.
It's one of my favorite sayings. It might be on your side of the map, but it is no longer your jungle. This Lilia has become an absolute monster, and this is exactly what I was talking about going into the series. You know, B1 Lilia on paper very risky, but in economy, it really just comes down to, you know, champion mastery, your strength on the picks, and Boybot's looking pretty darn good on it.
Yeah, they definitely are. Comfort is king, 100%. I think even at the higher levels, because even if a counter match is picked into you, you probably know how it plays from more repetition than the person who picked the counter. Like, I still look forward to playing Leona into Morgana because I know exactly what she wants to do and I know how to play around it.
Yeah, we're seeing an aggression here in the mid lane. Lilia gets the Q off. Going to be a one-tap on the Ziggs. Echo goes in, but gets immediately pushed off there by the Poppy. Oh, Lilia gets hit up there by the Chompers. In a bit of a tough spot here. Lots of CC coming through from the Leona, from the Jinx. But Lilia, so dang quick. Going to be able to prance her way out of there. And Rift Herald going to spawn up here in the mid lane. Won't be enough to take out the turret, though. So I'm curious if they stick around here. Just going to get that crash off, do a lot of damage. Echo was looking to go under the tower, gets stunned out there by the Poppy with the Keeper's Verdict, uses the ultimate to get out. And Lilia once again finds himself standing on those Chompers.
Ooh. Look at the spot lane, though, with the Ari on that tier 2 bot turret, getting a good amount of damage on it before hitting her back button safely before the red team can collapse. Good heads-up play on the split push.
Now, Lilia here is definitely going the, what I like to call the carry pants build. Going the Leandre straight into the Riftmaker with the Sork boots. That is the build that you play when you are trying to 1v9 the game. The game is in your hands, and so far, Boybot has definitely been doing it well. Ari playing very quietly well as a supportive role, and Miss Poppy has been super impactful as well. Mordekaiser are going to pull Garen into the Death Realm. Going to be a one-way trip for them to Brazil. They will get the solo kill on the other side, but it will be traded back for as Boybot once again is going to harvest all of the kills, now up to 6-0 rather, and Atacon spawning.
Lilia just went past 2 flowers. Oh, that's a 3 petal too.
Picks it up on the way back, and
good.
to be fair, they take the Atacon, they get them all right off the rip.
True.
9,000 mid tower is going to fall. But this Atacon, this could be a spot that they could look to try and get back in. There is no way to keep Echo out. Lilia flashed aggressively, but they weren't in position to go for a Lilting Lullaby. 3,000 on this objective. Poppy does have the W. Goes in. Echo able to get the steal off. Lilting Lullaby does connect off to a ultimate. And look, the Jinx is now coming through. Soldice is running with the Ghost. Ghost as fast as they can. Can they get any more resets to come through here? Yes, they can. And now Trog's going to fall there as well. Triple kill for red side, double kill over to the Jinx, and Echo picking up a massive shutdown, and that is what Death by Deep Ward needed.
So the bounty was claimed on Atacon. Atacon went towards Death by Deep Ward.
Yeah, Echo was able to get in, able to get the steal away, and that got the Jinx reset to get that play started. Lilia got caught out, didn't have their flash up, and so immediately set off Soldix, who, again, popped that Ghost, ran down those little health bars under the tower, and all of a sudden, this game has completely turned on its head. But Dragon Soul here in a minute. Jinx, no summoners. Lilia, no summoners. Misfortune, no flash. A lot of cooldowns are down.
And they picked up another bounty on that turret and top lane before their bounties fell off, because they are 100% expiring at this time.
And just like that, I mean, look at the gold lead. It's now in red side's favor, whereas the entire game it had not been. But maybe Check getting caught out here a little bit. Might have to pull somebody into the death realm. We'll see if they can even get a chance here. Looks like they pulled in the Poppy. Try and buy themselves some time. Maybe the rest of the team can get there in time. They're not going to get the kill here onto the Poppy. Boybot going to do a lot of damage here. Picks up the kill onto the Mordekaiser. Echo R has to go back there over the top. Solar Eclipse connects there just onto the Garen, who's able to eat that one up. Super Mega Death Rocket connected. Lilting Lullaby now onto the Jinx. Flash out from the Ziggs as well into the bullet time. And they are getting wiped across the board. Echo, only one left standing. Not for long, though. No ultimate. Double kill for both of your carries. And that's going to be Ocean Soul over to blue side.
That was a fantastic team fight. Professor said, absolutely not. We saw how it went when we are shredded. We are putting our foot down. Here's our ults. Die. And they get the Ocean Drake as a reward for Ocean Soul.
And that is the power of the MF-Lilia combination. Lilia puts him to sleep. MF puts him in the coffin. Like I said, personal favorite of mine and my team's performance. And that's going to be Ocean Soul over to the blue side.
Yep. This MF is also putting on a very, very, very strong performance. 4-0-5 in this game. I do not want to discount this Ari play, though. Troggy has been really good. Doesn't have any kills, but 9 assists means they are showing up. They are hitting abilities. They are making plays for this team. And we saw it particularly in the early game with those charms hit to set up for the Lilia being able to come in and secure those early kills in order to accelerate.
Yep.
Okay. So, 7 kills up. 3k gold lead. 23 minutes in. Ooh.
Mordekaiser catching up Boybot, but maybe the Mordekaiser is actually not wanting to opt into this fight. So much damage coming through. The Poppy Sun connects, and Poppy just going to delete Mordekaiser. Baron's not up for a minute, so I don't know how much more they're going to get out of that, but that is a just a pick, and they're going to push on this mid turret.
They do have very, very good wave clear with the Ziggs Jinx, so I don't know how much damage they'll get onto it. but they do certainly have pressure here.
Yeah, there may be efficient here. Leona does have the solar flare. Could look to try and get a chance to see out. Poppy gets the keeper's verdict. It's not going to connect there, but that's going to be a reset. And now Jinx is excited. Can they get anything going here? Lilia does not have the flash. They're into the Zanyas, but they will fall here immediately. Echo going to pick up another shutdown. And again, that's just, back-to-back plays there where Lilia just gets caught on those chompers. Can't do a thing about it. Meanwhile, on the top side, Rhythmic going to be able to pick up this turret. They're just vibing.
Yep. Garen doing Garen things. The Hunk now has gotten a couple shutdowns and has completed 2 items. I believe they're going to be looking to back here with another significant amount of gold. They are posturing for this Baron on spawn, though.
I mean, it's 20 seconds on the Lilia, make it 15. Baron is now up. They have a Ziggs, they have an Echo, they have a Jinx. They do decent damage, and Mordekaiser never used their ultimate in that last play. So if anyone tries to show up, I do think that they can just take this right under their noses, which is absolutely massive.
There is no vision for blue side anywhere near this Baron pit.
And everyone's going to be up for this too, so they just get the Baron. They push on that mid turret a little too aggressively, and the punishment is going to be a Baron here, and kind of even up that gold lead a little bit. And let's see what Death by Deep Ward can do with this this Baron Asher.
I really love how Death by Deep Ward is really taking advantages in these topside objectives when they're able to. I think they've gotten every single topside objective. Yeah, they got Void Grubs, they got Rift Herald, and Otacon and Baron. So they are doing fantastic with these topside objectives, even with when they're behind in gold. They've really created just enough space to take these. And a fantastic smite by our Hum.
Baron up here in the mid wave. They do have Jinx collecting some farm down in those bot side camps. Again, you want this Jinx P as accelerated as possible. Sitting on 2 items at the moment. MF slightly ahead of the pace. Take a look at the kind of the gold difference by role. You can see the lead there in the jungle in the ADC role for blue side. Slight advantage here though to Mordekaiser. Chet in the top lane over the Garen, which we did hear was a bit of a tough matchup. We'll see kind of what they look to do here.
That is a 72 CS advantage by the MF. Solar is CSing out of their mind against that Jinx. Highest CS in the game. Second to is Lilia, which is terrifying. Lilia's farming like gangbusters. Goodness.
Yeah, they are certainly following the ABCs here quite a little bit. A little hard here to make this Baron push happen though. The MF, the Ahri kind of wave clearing fairly effectively. The minions are now on the turret, but they have to be careful. They can't get hit up by a charm. They're just letting the cannon kind of do the majority of the work. But with this bot wave being so far away, I'm not sure how much they're gonna get out of their Baron necessarily. The E, they were fishing for it onto Soldig's. Not gonna be able to connect there though.
Yeah, that was close though.
Elder is here in a minute. This is going to be an absolutely massive fight. You cannot get picked here before this, but Chet might not be having a say in the matter, is going to be getting caught out here. Pulls the Garen into the Death Realm, gets silenced up there. They're going to have to try and get this trade kill because they will be down for this Elder, but this Garen is too tanky. They cannot get the kill. Poppy is going to pick that one up, and that is an absolutely massive pick here before this this Baron, or this Elder rather.
They're going to be about 10 seconds behind the spawn of this. They do have TP though. So if I were the Poro professors, I would really, really pay attention to purging the red vision away from this objective so they don't have a good TP ward to get into, and hopefully possibly getting another pick to extend the time they have an advantage.
MF is zoned off. Look at the Echo, just keeping her out of the play. The rest of the reinforcements are there to kind of escort her back in. And they're going to have to jockey for this mid lane prio. Elder is up in 2 seconds. Mordekaiser up in 10. Has the TP, has the flash, but will not have the Death Realm. And it looks like they're just going to look to rip this one. Do they look to contest it 4v5? Mordekaiser has the teleport. Closest spot would be in that control brush. 8K teleport immediately coming through. 6,000. It is here. Leona's going to try to be the first to walk up. 4,000. Keeper's Verdict is getting charged there by the Poppy. Does connect there. Gets the jungler out of there. Super Mega Death Rocket is going to connect, and it's going to be taken there by blue side. Resets coming through. Mordekaiser picks up kill onto the Garen, but Leona is the first to fall here. Resets are coming through. Leona. Jinx gets taken off on the other side. The Elder is just wrecking everybody. Double kill here for Boybot. Mordekaiser is there. Echo trying to run away. Gets ran down. Ends up being a 2 for 3, but the Elder buff over to blue side.
And Lilia secured that with a smite. Good job on the contested smite by Boybot here. Great job. Comfort champion, comfort smite. And Lilia, fed Lilia with Elder is scary.
Chet
that's
having to try to do what they can here. Mordekaiser are going to pull the Misfortune into the death realm. Echo is here. Maybe after the fact, can MF get away? Has a flash. Mordekaiser follow through flash. Massive shutdown there. Echo opted into that play and does get a pick off there. But they do get the Misfortune. That's going to deny the Elder push here.
Yes, they do open up the base with taking down that mid inhib though. So they will have super minions streaming into that base that red team will have to deal with. So they are not as free to come out. Now, one advantage about mid lane being the only lane that is down is that the super minions can be taken care of by those two turrets, since they will be hit at the same time on that super minion. So minions, super minions in the mid lane tend not to take a turret. However, in one of the side lanes, super minions can easily solo take a turret. Okay.
This game's on a Razor's Edge. 5,000 gold lead. Dragon Soul, Elder Dragon, all picked up by blue side, but it does not feel like that big of a gap. Red side is going blow for blow with the Poro Professors. Again, Poro Professors need to win this game to keep their season alive. Death by Deport did pick up game number 1. Baron is going to be up here in 35 seconds. They are working on this mid lane. They're trying to push it out. Mordekaiser has to be careful. They've gotten picked off a couple of times before these massive objectives. Right now, they've got the protection of Echo, of Speth on the Leona. Scuttle will be picked up here by blue side.
Leona has had some really good ults in these team fights as well, just obstructing the free movement of the majority of the team.
And Chet going to be taking a ton of damage here, and again, just gets deleted there. The Death Realm just able to keep them alive, I guess. And I've never seen that interaction with the Elder buff. But Mordekaiser dies right as the Baron spawns, and now Echo has to decide, do they look to 50-50 this? Is it worth the risk? Echo gets tagged there by the Leona E, the bowling ball, 10k on this objective. They have a 4-on-5 advantage. Mordekaiser does not have a teleport. 6k. Echo able to dodge away from that one. 4,000 left on this objective. Can they look for the 50-50? They're going to gash in. Objective bounty is claimed there. Keeper's Verdict able to get out the Echo, but it does not matter. Leona on the wrong side of the rift tries to use the flash and the redemption to get out. Lilting Lullaby connects her onto one member. Lilia able to get the kill onto the Jinx as MF picks up the Leona. Lilia potentially going to fall here to Echo. Gets not enough damage to come through. Flash not going to be able to get them out. Solar able to pick up a double kill. Now the teleport come through onto the bot side by the Ahri. Ziggs on a reset with the Baron. One tower's already fallen. The next is going to be quick here to go as well. But maybe with the Baron and minions, Ziggs can try to do what they can. It is 5-on-1 rather. Actually, Mordekaiser has now just spawned right in time. There is no death realm though. Mordekaiser gets pinned up against the wall. They're trying to just chain CC this more. Ziggs taking a ton of damage. Bullet time gonna connect there. Able to get a ton of damage off Ziggs. Does get 2. Mordekaiser doing what they can, but the Garen ultimate is going to end game number 2, and we are going to a third game.
Yes, we are. I am so excited. These teams absolutely went neck to neck on that one. Really, the Poro Professors did a great job on securing the bot half of the map with Drake scaling, getting their Lily ahead, and it was amazing. However, Death by Deport did a phenomenal job securing the top side objectives and getting those going. Tokyo, the Hunk, had some phenomenal smite steals, which were really helped by the Leona ult coming in just as Echo was coming in. That communication between the two was phenomenal in that one. You could definitely tell that those two have played together quite a few times, because on both of those smite steals by Echo, Leona ult coming over the top, just holding the Poro Professors in place, allowed for Echo to move around, get in, and secure those smites. I am so thrilled to see a third game out of these two. So, Poopyhead Richard, we do not have that lovely little thing. However, I will say this is the quarterfinals third game of the economy. So, this is the first series of games for economy. None of them have been knocked out of playoffs. And this is now a best of one. One of these teams' playoff runs ends here, and the other gets to go on to semifinals. So, what did Chad think of that game? I thought it was amazing. Yes, this is kind of a Silver Scrapes moment, even though traditionally Silver Scrapes is only supposed to be used in best of fives. Ah, it's so good. Hmm. We can't even see the recap screen.
Yeah. I will say, Silver Scrapes is phenomenal. But you are right
Yeah.
that, I do tend to think it's more of, a best of 5 setting. I will say I did play my first best of 5 going to game 5 earlier this year, a couple months ago, and that was pretty it was pretty exciting for sure. Going into game 5.
Was it Fearless?
Yes, yeah, game 5 Fearless, reverse sweep actually. Went down
Mm.
0-2, so it was very, very fun. Um, yeah, it would be bronze great. Sammy says there's no rules, and I guess that is fair. So, I mean, you know what? These guys haven't decided what sides they want.
Okay.
So in the name of let's see.
Didn't Riot just release the new orchestral version of Silver Scrapes?
I have no idea. I do believe that Silver Scrapes is free use.
Yeah.
So
But
you know
I
what?
think the orchestral version just came out.
Let's see. I can do a quick little search here. I might be blind. I am not seeing an orchestral.
All right, give me a
Um,
moment. Give me a moment. Okay. We're paused. Good. I will not play it. Uh,
yes, Genghis Khan. The series is 1-1. We are going into game 3. We are waiting for the sides to decide. Oh, I did. Yeah, okay. I was looking on Spotify. That's why I was not able to find it because I guess it does not quite exist on there just yet. Um, yeah, I will say it was very jarring the first time I was watching like College Game Day. I just randomly heard Silver Scrapes, and I like had to do a triple take. Like, why is ESPN playing the League of Legends Silver Scrapes? Um, let's see. Let's make sure one more time that these guys have not decided on sides just yet. Well, actually, they have, but as I'm loading it in, I will give the people what they want, even if it is just for a fleeting moment. Game 3, Poor Professor's Death by Deep Ward. We are, in fact, heading into our final game of the night. It will be Silver Scrapes. Enjoy. All right, and I hope that was everything that Sammy 2 slap. I mean, really, it only took one person to convince me to play it. I am pretty easy. We are waiting for them to get us started here with draft in game number 3. They have decided it is going to be Poro Professors on blue side. So Death by
Yay.
Deeport electing to stay on red, which tells me that they're not thinking it was a draft problem last game. There we go.
Okay.
Just waiting for them to set it up on the draft site. What adaptations are you maybe looking for here from Death by Deepwood?
Well, again, let's not let the enemy jungler get their mate. I feel like these games are really living and dying by the jungler. Both games, definitely a carry performance. One for Hunk Tokyo and one for, oh no, what was their name?
Boybot.
Boybot, thank you, whose alt is named E-Deer. So I remember that part.
Mm-hmm.
Boybot versus Tokyo. I mean, both these games have live and died by the jungler. So getting the jungler on comfort and a carry champion as much as possible is probably your best bet in these games.
Yeah, definitely. It is going to be a good approach here, I would have to presume, to keep them off of comfort. Again, comfort reigns supreme here
Mhm.
in economy. I just want to triple check that I'm not missing anything, as they are all here, but they haven't started draft. Looks like I'm still fine. You know, now we're in game 3. That champ pool, starting to whittle down. 4 of every role off the table. Factor in bands, and you can really start to pinch those pools a little bit. I think we saw a really good game that last go around from Solarsis on the Misfortune. Really had some strong bullet times paired up with the Lilia, who of course was kind of the star of the show, as she should be. But MF a little unheralded. Just wanted to give a shout out there. Poppy had some massive stun engages, proving that all my talk about no reliable CC or multi-man engage didn't really matter.
It did not. You had a wonderful analysis of it. Did not go that way, but that's okay. We still love you.
We appreciate that. Still just hanging out. They're all in the lineup order. So I would presume that they're ready to go sometime here soon. Maybe somebody went on a bathroom break, maybe something's going on. Let me go ahead and pay out our predictions that last go around. Again, last time it was heavy favorites for Death by Deepwood, but the Poro Professor is coming through in the clutch. Blue side is 2-0 here tonight. So maybe an important thing to keep in mind here for game number 3. What's the scientific method? It's like threes of proving it or whatever. 2's a trend, 1's a theory. It's something like that. I haven't been in science in a while.
You have to have way more than 2 results to have any sort of pattern. Your R value is nothing at that point.
Let's see.
Okay. Oh gosh, bands are already coming out.
Anyway, we'll save that for another day. Draft looking like it is getting started up here. Gonna be seeing I presume to be the same bands coming through. I don't think we're gonna be seeing anything too different. As there we go. Now we are officially live. Sometimes the draft tool kind of scares me a little bit. It shows the Ziggs because it was the last pick. Nautilus is going to be taken off the table. They are not willing to play against that.
They've stuck to the same bands pretty much the previous 2 games, and it looks like we're getting a repeat of that.
Yeah,
relying on the Fearless draft being their additional 5 bands, 10 bands.
Yep, keeping same old Ash, Nautilus, Aurora, Volibear. Not seeing any of those here tonight. Will we see the Nocturne ban here once again for the Poro Professors, or do they have something else cooked up? Time will tell. Approximately
They
10
don't need to worry
seconds.
about the Mordekaiser anymore.
Do not need to worry about the Mord any longer. And it's going to be the Nocturne once
Nocturne.
again taken off the table.
Yep. I very much fully support that decision. That is a champion the Hulk would get way ahead on.
And the Cho'Gath will again remain off the table. Now, last time they picked their signature champion, the Lilia B1, no longer available. Do they go a jungler? Do they go an evergreen 80 carry? Do they go something different? The choices are kind of limitless. They hovered the Ezreal last time. They're going to
Xayah.
hover Xayah here.
I love that as a first pick. Super safe in lane with the ult. Very reliable. Lots of damage. Oh, well,
They got the
okay.
other half of the duo.
And Leona's out of the game, which is one of his hardest counters. So, meh.
Yeah, no, Leona Rakan kind of has the best of both worlds. Can have crazy engage, but can also bail himself out immediately. All the while
Yep.
enchanting the team with the heal, with the shields. Kind of a do it all support. Could see something like the Thresh go into it. You could see a different engage support. Going to be the Jarvan pickup for Death by Deep Ward, paired up with the Orianna.
Oh,
All reliable.
beautiful team comp. Yep. I particularly like the Jarvan into the Rakan, because Rakan can't run around and ult the whole team if he's in a birdie broiler.
And the Xayah is going to be hovered here. Yep. There's a debate, long going on debate in the TV grounds on whether or not Xayah Jarvan is a good interaction for Xayah or if it's bad. We're not even going to talk about it anymore because they said go Kai'Sa, so it's all a moot point.
I like that. Her ult can also get her out of the Jarvan puddle, so she can save herself. With the help of Rakan, his engage does really well with Kai'Sa. It can really have a strong laning phase, so I very much like that pair together.
Yeah, it is nice and reliable. Early Mundo pickup, which has been banned away the first 2 games, I believe. Definitely last game, and they're laying it down here in game number 3.
Just a big, chunky meatball.
Now, of
Be the
course,
front line. Go.
not the strongest of the early game champs. Definitely has to
Correct.
make their way through the early game, and especially if they look to pick something in the top lane that can punish it, could make life pretty tough here for, I believe that's Rhythmic, and it's going to be the Yorick as the answer.
Yeah. So they are slightly more closely answering some picks. They have both the top laners. Banning out Death by Deep Ward, banning out junglers now. Poro Professors probably going to be looking to banning out ADCs to pinch that pool. Or perhaps support.
Yeah, again, a little bit of a difference in bans. Vi going to be the takeaway for Death by Deep Ward. We could see some ADC bans come out. Could potentially see some supports that'd be bad for Rakan to play into. Going to be Seraphine. I'm assuming that'd be kind of indexing more into that supportive category. Jarvan, Ori, Seraphine sounds like one heck of a combination, and they don't want to see it.
Yep. That is truly terrifying. Okay, I would expect to see another jungle ban here.
Could see a lot of the 80 bruises have gone out. You know, the Xin Zhao's off the table, the Vi, the Jarvan. Could still see like a Wukong, but it's going to be a Scion ban, which tells me that they think this could be Mundo Jungle, but I mean, I love Mundo Jungle, but I would assume that you'd think it's the top lane if you're going to pick the Yorick right after, but I'm not here for the draft for Death by Deep Ward. Zyra also going to be taken away. Sounds pretty miserable for Rakan, and I would presume you get your ADC pickup here, unless you got something really spicy lined up. Probably makes the most sense to leave your support up, but we'll see what they opt for.
Xayah also particularly strong into Kai'Sa because her plants can block the poke, and slowing Rakan down makes his ult not nearly as effective. They did choose another poke champion into the Rakan, though. So Rakan's going to have to use his fancy feet, dipping and dodging around a little bit to not get caught in those karma cues.
Yeah. Now that would signify to me that they're not looking to go like a super like kill bot lane. You know, it might be another hyper carry, might be another scaler, and there is the Wukong that I was talking about. Another one of my favorite picks. Really good into the
Mhm.
Jarvan. You go for the
Yes.
flag and drag. If you time it correctly, you can interrupt it with the Cyclone. Really need to get that level 6 as quick as possible, though. My teammates probably hear me say that ad nauseum. That you don't do a whole lot until you have level 6, but once you have it, you're the best champ in the game. Mid lane gonna be the pickup here on number 5 into the Orianna. Could pair it with like an Annie, could pair it with a Lissandra, could pair it with any number of mages, and it is gonna be that Lissandra for that point click CC.
Beautiful. Yeah. Jarvan doesn't like becoming an ice statue.
No, I mean I will say the Jarvan is not looking like he's gonna have the most fun this game for sure. They
No,
picked it
no,
early.
that's a lot of ow.
Yeah, and his job is going to be a thankless one, or maybe they send a letter in the mail. ADC here on 5. What's our pickup going to be? Ezreal Karma is your bot lane into the Kaiser Rakan.
Pokey poke, safe.
And while I'm getting our final prediction here for the night going, go ahead and let us know what your thoughts are on these comps.
I favor the Poro professors here. I think they had a stellar draft. I think they have a tremendous team fight, both good engage and disengage. I love their CC to counter what Death by Deep Ward want to do. I adore that everybody but Mundo can get out of the Jarvan ult, and Mundo don't care. I do also really love the Jarvan Orianna ult combo. Ezreal Karma play very, very safe. It's going to be very hard to get on them. Orianna is really going to have to watch herself in these team fights. Once they're done bursting down the Jarvan, she's probably going to be the next target as an immobile mage. But, Karma shielding could be huge here, but I do favor the Poro professors. I don't think they have as good of an answer into the Yorick. Mundo can clear waves. He's fine. What am I saying? This is fine. Yeah, I like the Poro Professor's draft. I really do. Particularly since their solo laners have been so strong. In both the previous games, I have every faith in the world that Mundo will scale. Lissandra will do fine. She and Orianna just kind of handshake. Not much is probably going to happen. They'll likely throw ults at each other, and Lissandra will probably turn into an ice statue and go, yeah, what about it? And then they will recall and then go back to farming minions. So I don't expect terribly much to happen. Lissandra famously incredibly safe against ganks. Rakan, Kaisa, also pretty darn hard to gank. Kaisa, before she has her ult, will have to play back a little bit. Mundo, once he gets a bit of scaling on him, he's not going anywhere. So I don't see a really clear lane for Jarvan to gank. Probably bot pre-6 would be your best bet. However, Karma Ezreal don't offer too terribly much help. So it's going to be a tough game for this Jarvan.
Yeah, definitely Jarvan is going to have their work cut out for him in this game number 3. Now, again, blue side has won the first 2 games, so if you're following the trend, Poro professors would be in line to win this game number 3, complete that reverse sweep. But we all know that it's not quite that simple. We will need to see them put it out there on the Rift here for game number 3. The concern that I think I have is with this Dr. Mundo. I do think, I mean, the Ezreal Karma, great for pushing the lane, great for giving your Jarvan prio, but my concern is your Ezreal doesn't have the capabilities of killing this Dr. Mundo late game. So there is this like internal clock that has to be ticking from moment 1 for this Ezreal, for this Jarvan. Really, Tokyo is going to have to be making those plays happen. Otherwise, they are just going to have Mundo, I mean, you've all seen the clips. You probably have had it happen in your games of Mundo just 1v9ing everybody, and there's nothing to really do about it. So that's where my primary concern is. But I also think I've been wrong both games. So take that for what it's worth.
Well, you've let me say my piece first, so I had advantage in that.
Mm-hmm. We will have a couple minutes spectator delay here. Again, gambling is up. Yes, Construct, this is Fearless. So these are game 3 picks. These rounds of playoffs are only best of 3s, just like the regular season was. Finals are best of 5. And then in the upper leagues, we are experimenting with best of 5 for the entire playoff bracket. We're kind of seeing how that goes, as it is a little, hard with the free schedule league to do best of 5s, having
It's
people
a lot.
all have the time to make that happen. But best of 5s are very fun, I will say. So,
I mean,
um,
Riot has teams of like 5 or 6 casters for best of 5s, and they rotate people in and out.
mhm. We are wrapping up here. Everyone went where we're expecting. Nothing super surprising. Looks like right now the bets are actually in favor of the Poro Professors. So they are believers in blue side supremacy.
Yep. I put my schmeckles on Pro Professors this side, so I gave over quite a few schmeckles in the first game.
And now is the chance
See
to
if you
redeem
guys
them.
can come take some more of them.
And now, once again, people get mad if I don't do this. So I'm just going to preemptively put the bottles up and then switch right back over so you can look at the draft for these next couple of minutes. Yes. I personally, every streamer kind of does it a little different. I don't actually have them playing for this game, but I do have, the lo-fi beats hanging out in the background when I stream. But don't have them on at the moment. We did play some Silver Scrapes because the chat, and by chat, I mean Sammy2 Slap asked for it. And I am just simply that easy. Game number 3, though,
Is
winner.
that something you should advertise?
I guess it depends on the recipients, I suppose.
Okay.
One of these teams will continue their push in the playoffs. The other team will be having their season end. So pretty high stakes here across the rift. This is quarterfinals of the Economy League. We got 8 teams in this playoff bracket. I'm having a good time here. Again, first time checking out these players. Might be becoming a bit of a boybot box. No, it's boybot.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of an enjoyer on that Lilia. Had a good performance. I'm getting to see them do it on the Wukong, which again, another one of my signature picks. I'm excited for this. Got a lot of team fight action here, and
Yes,
in
we
just
do.
a little over a minute, we'll be seeing this game kick off. Now, are you currently playing in a LBLCS this season?
I am a sub on a team that did not make playoffs.
Gotcha. So our season has ended. I gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
I also technically a sub, although I did play many weeks at the beginning of the season for the Rat Kingdom Squeak Squad.
Cool.
Since then, Duolingo Owl has taken over the starting role, which is good. I'm got some other commitments and stuff, but it was nice to be able to get some LBLCX action going on. Okay, well, so here's Carpy. I love the support you're putting in the chat, but there's one minor problem in what I'm reading. Wukong is also a strong Wukong. That is objectively a true statement, but I believe what you were trying to say is that Boybot is a strong Wukong. Yeah,
Cool.
no, I'm just
How many games of Mundo do you need to be baseline confident with that champion?
I'd argue like at least 2.
2?
I actually really like Mundo Jungle. It's something
Yeah.
where it can be punished, but if you can kind of just like have a really good first 10 minutes, get all your camps, ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Carpy is saying that he has played 2 games of Mundo. So
Nice.
he's met the minimum.
I mean, we both came up with that number independently at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and apparently he has played 2 games of Mundo, which is I mean, this was not planned, so it must be fate. He's going to hit Qs and then go where he pleases. It will be delightful. I didn't pay attention to the skins.
No, it came in through too quickly, and I'm once again trying this this mini map shenanigans. All right, there we go. Kind of pull it. That's good enough. And we are here out onto the Rift, game number 3. Poor Professors versus Death by Deep Ward. We're again seeing them push out here, and if we have an interview, I'm gonna have to ask about this control word meta that is coming up here in economy. Both teams now have been convinced to go that early control word. Very bold into the Ezreal Karma to not.
Yeah. Again, I am not a fan of it. Into the double poke lane. I could absolutely 100% see it from the Karma here, even though it got immediately popped and is now gold in Rakan's pocket. Rakan did pick up the last hit on both of the wards and is up like 40 gold. Like, Rakan, richest person, bar none. Clearly, Rakan wins the game.
I mean, it's one thing to build a gold lead. It's another to use it to its full advantage. And I do believe that those 40 gold will be going towards another pink ward on their first reset. Junglers starting on opposite sides here. Likely not going to see a whole lot of action from Boybot. Could see some early shenanigans coming through from Tokyo, though.
Correct. We definitely could. I think he definitely needs to try to get things happening before the lanes hit 6. Because that's going to make everything infinitely harder for him to try and accomplish anything. Oh, Rakan Ignite. Okay, that's what they're clicking. All right, that's fine.
York has that early level 2 advantage. Going to get a good trade-off into the Dr. Mundo. Nice, solid laning. I'm assuming that this probably isn't a very fun lane for Dr. Mundo. I'm not
Probably
sure.
Not. Definitely not early.
I don't know of any top laner that enjoys playing or just enjoys Yorick other than other York players. Pretty miserable champion, kind of across the board.
Not my least favorite champion by far. There are at least 3 I hate more than Yorick.
And what are those?
Number 1 is Pike with Umbral Glaive. Just no. Just go away. Leave my wards alone. Shoo. I hate that champion. I hate how easily he slips away from stuff. And I detest Umbral Glaive. Ah.
Spoken like a true support. Dash in there from Rakan. Gonna get dashed out by the Mystic Shot from the Ezreal. Rhythmic caught up in the cage. Pretty low on health here. And that's gonna make it a little tough here. Monchikyu not connect. Fancy feet coming out from Solar. And Wukong is down here. Could look to maybe get out on the map, but is going to be spotted out by that ward in the Tri-Brush, whereas Jarvan just going to come up here, and they're just going to trade scuttles here. Nice and quiet early game.
No double scuttle on one side or the other this time. Very even so far. Carpy, I do want to say, if there weren't any errors that were made by any of these players, they would probably not be eligible for economy.
We are going to see a little bit of a fisheye gank, and the Flag Drag actually comes through there on a Troggy who already used Lissandra. He has to flash out. So the play was opted in for by blue side, but it's red side that gets the advantage. And interesting you bring that up, little robot man, because that's going to actually segue towards I've seen the Akali getting talked about recently over the recent Nico discourse. There's a lot of anti-Nico propaganda based on its prio and pro play, and how have you seen the cannon manipulation? You can you can take over a cannon and turret dive, but you'll eat all the tower shots as if you're a cannon minion. So you can basically take 9 free turret shots while your ADC fires under the tower. Pretty impressive stuff. Also the flash ult mechanic. People are just talking about they're talking about the Akali with tower aggro, the Pantheon when he's able to avoid tower aggro, the Galio flash taunt, stuff like that.
Diego. Yeah.
Gonna be seeing resets coming out here. Mantra Q connects there onto the Rakan. A little bit of poke coming through. I'm expecting that red side gonna look for an early dragon here. You have the Ez Karma, do have that Sheen, whereas the reset hasn't come through for the bot lane. They're just now getting that reset off, but we do see Tokyo standing around this dragon, and they look like they're gonna start it up.
Yep. Lissandra here pretty much out of mana. Probably looking to
Shockwave
back.
connects there by Troggy. Lissandra R has to be traded there, but it's gonna be a solo bolo for Captain Clutch here in the mid lane.
Wow. That... Oh gosh, the Lissandra Claw ability. I don't know what it's called. It's fine. Probably she used it on the wave, and then Orianna saw that, took advantage of Lissandra not having her mobility spell up, and solo boloed. I think is that the first solo bolo we've seen mid lane this series?
Yeah, I think so. Might be the first solo bolo across the board. Wukong is coming down here. Importantly, does not have that Cyclone, but Rakan does have the flash. They do go in with the E. Maybe they're going to have to look on the Karma here, forcing out the flash from Spef. Good. Summoner burn there for not a whole lot. And meanwhile, on the top lane, Chet does not care about the towers, does not care about the Mundo, just wants those plates. Going to take a couple of tower shots, but will be already up 2 plates on the Mundo.
Goodness. Moderate CS lead as well. Rakan doing a great job forcing the enemy ADC even out of comfortable wow, experience range no longer.
Wukong
okay, we see an
catch out
invade here on the
Tokyo
top
on this
side.
invade. Jarvan has already used the Flagging Drag, has the Prio from their Yorick though. Maybe gonna try and push off the Wukong. Ori has a Shockwave coming up in just a second. They're still scrapping, but we're back to the bot side where they are just looks like Wukong's been shoved out of their jungle here. Gonna have to accept the blue buff is no longer theirs.
So sad for the Wukong.
And the Gromp, so maybe you're gonna see a little bit of a pivot towards like a vertical jungle here as Boybot looking to invade, going over towards that blue buff.
Their bot side does have Prio right now, so that's quite safe for Wukong to do. As long as the Orianna can't collapse, as long as Lissandra can keep up a bit of pressure, it should be fine. Just 1v1s here in bot lane.
Surprisingly, Kaisa up about 20 CS in this Ezreal Karma matchup. Really kind of good stuff here by Solar to keep up in what is supposed to be a pretty hard lane. We'll see if they look to make anything happen here. Wukong does have that level 6, does have the Cyclone available. Jarvan now resetting, maybe walking out towards those Grubs. Grubs are, of course, insanely good on Yorick. Also insanely good on the Mundo, to be fair. Rakan maybe fishing here. They see the Karma walking up. We're going to be seeing a scrap here in the bot side soon. And that's going to be Wukong has to use the clone. Orianna is here, hits the Shockwave onto the Wukong. Does they use the Cyclone? Yes, they do. Jarvan, though, has the Cataclysm, flag and drag into the kill onto the Wukong, into the 2-man Cataclysm. Lissandra able to get out with their E. Nowhere further Rakan to go. Has to use the flash into the W. Does Jarvan have another flag and drag under their belt? They're looking for it. They are going to hit it. They're going to hit it up onto Lissandra. Feats of Warfare picked up by red side, and they're going to be able to get out to 3-0 early.
Orianna's strong. Just slightly very ahead. 18 CS, probably going to be 20 something after this coming wave. Stopping the back on Solar there as well. So before that team fight broke out, in which Death by Deep Ward came out very much ahead, I was about to compliment Solar on their CSing throughout this fight. On the MF, they were super far ahead. And even on this Kaisa in a more poke matchup where she theoretically will have a harder time, super ahead. Solar's playing very well.
Yeah, that play very well, giving shout in particular to the Jarvan. Tokyo Chu on this J4 had the flag and drags, had the multi-man Cataclysm, force out some summoners. Really just playing well on the J4 that we said was going to be a little hard to pilot early, but so far looking good Working towards that Sundered, got the Grubs, got the early Drake. Next Dragon is here in a minute, and if they secure that, we'll have feats, at the 10-minute mark, which is, a lot earlier than we had the first 2 games.
Yep. But we did see from game 1 that Death by Deep Ward can definitely take an early lead and snowball a game like crazy. So I would not be surprised if they were looking to do that again here. Ooh.
Dash in there from the Ezreal, trying to get a little bit of damage off. Going to be shielded up by the Karma. Drag in 35 seconds. Taking a look at items across the board. No one's quite on that first item just yet. Flashes are up for pretty much everybody except for the bot lane of the Poro Professors. Could be a little bit tough to fight.
Yes, it could. Particularly with that Jarvan ult being ever looming as a threat. Kai'Sa's gonna have to rely on her ult there to potentially escape that.
There may be fishing on the Orianna here in the mid lane before the objective. Orianna does have a pretty decent shutdown. Do they get the engage off? Mid lane does force out the flash, and they didn't have to use any of their ultimates. That's absolutely massive.
Wow, okay.
But it looks like they're maybe not feeling confident about a potential dragon fight as Wukong's heading up towards the top side.
Yeah. Poor Professors have kind of decided to make cross-map plays several times during these games.
It's going to be spotted out on a ward, so no dice, and that's going to be the second dragon going over to Death by Deep Ward, and that's instantly going to be the feats of strength in their favor.
Yeah, that's tough for the Poor Professors this game. Not getting that cross-map play, getting spotted out on that ward was huge. I wonder if that is Yorick's ward. Is that Yorick's ward?
I would assume pretty likely Boybot trying to get something going here to make it worth their time, but nothing is going to be able to come through. And then on the bot side, look at Tokyo, able to just invade, take away these Raptors. Like, you're going to know the Krugs are up. So really going to fall behind here on this Wukong.
That is really tough for that Wukong. But yeah, top laners, if you use your wards, you die less.
Groundbreaking.
Then you don't have to spam ping the jungler for help. I'm sure you've never been spam pinged in solo queue.
No, never. I've become a bit of a believer in the full mute approach these days. Very rarely in my solo queue games do the teammates have anything productive to say. Sometimes I'll try to, I'll mute their chat, but I'll just have the pings on. But it doesn't take much for people to get those turned off too. Early game going really well here for Death by Deep Ward. Kind of similar to what we saw in game number 1. Does Rakan look to go in here? Mystic shot or Mystic dash shift. I think it's Mystic shift. Gonna come through. Yorick gonna wail on this turret. Demolish gonna help them maybe get 2 whole plates here. But look at the roam up here from Shroggy, from Boybot. Yorick is going to put up the cage, going to be able to maneuver away from the Lissandra, but there is a Wukong in tow. They are looking to save their cooldowns. Boybot able to pick up that kill, and so York does get punished for their perma push.
Yep, and quickly that maiden to follow. Okay, so they have a kill on the board. It's on the Wukong. So Wukong is most of the way to that Trinity Force, because that's what those build into.
Yep. And it's a really strong power spike on the Wukong, coming through a little bit later than you would like at the moment, just because of the invades of the pressure that Jarvan has had, but should have it here on this reset. With 1150, that will be enough. So they'll be able to start fighting here a lot more impactfully. Rift Herald is up here in a couple of minutes, and Mundo is getting ganked up here on the top side. Tokyo for doing a little bit of mini-map casting as the 2v2's on the bot side. Mundo put in the cage, has to flash out. Did go the flash for that very purpose, and they will survive.
Nice. Okay. Staying safe, getting what farm they can, scaling up. They've gotten their 2 Mundo games in. They have met base proficiency on the champion.
Wukong could look to gank down here. There is no vision at the moment. Bot lane is kind of pushed up a little bit. Karma gets it up there by the E, or by the W of the Rakan, rather. A little bit of trading coming through. Jarvan on this top side, so would be unanswered. Will be spotted out, though, in that brush.
Mm-hmm.
And they will...
Ezreal's still pretty darn safe with that arcane shift, though.
Jarvan looking for a lot of invades, but not really getting a whole lot at this point. So Wukong's really been able to kind of equalize the... the CS deficit that they had. Rift Herald's not up for another minute, so they're kind of just roaming around as a death ball unit up on this top side.
Yep.
Rift Herald is now up onto the map, and they will be able to take this nice and quickly. So all the objectives going the way of Death by Deep Ward. Dragon in a minute 30, and I would have to assume that blue side's going to try to contest that one.
I would imagine as well. What the not contesting has done is allowed Wukong to catch up in CS. So, Wukong, Trinity Force complete, is now quite even with that Jarvan in resources. Wait, Jarvan doesn't have boots.
Jarvan has not opted into the boots just yet. Mid turret will fall here. Rift Herald could get another crash. They're going to play it safe. Again, Dragon coming up here in just about a minute, so they want to get their resets off. They want to get those item components coming through. Taking a look at our items across the board. I mean, Ezreal has not reset in a while. Sitting on 2,300. Really a lot of rich members on red side.
1,600 on Karma. That is a lot of gold as a support.
Ezreal will be able to get off that reset, so they will be able to pick up their Triforce in base. And probably some components towards the Manamune, as Ezreal, or Karma rather, able to get out. Takes a little bit of damage, but they'll be delayed in their reset.
Wukong's starting to be able to take some of that red side bot jungle, though, getting the Gromp out of there. So not only have they pulled even in CS, they're now on that blue buff, and taking away this blue buff could be huge, but the Orianna does collapse. The rest of red team is coming in. It is not safe. Discretion is the better part of valor. Wukong leaves.
Everybody's got all of their summoners up here. Wukong's actually built a level lead here, despite the early pressure from Tokyo. Dragon is going to get started up here. They are going to pull it out. Wukong has to link up with the rest of the team, but with Rakan on a reset, looks like they're not even going to be able to go for it, and so that's going to be sole point early on for the red side here.
The back timings before these objectives, Carpy, if you're watching, are a little bit interesting.
It's going to be the Chemtech sole point. They didn't feel like they could fight it. Atacon is going to be the next objective here in 2.5 minutes. Definitely would expect. They do need a fight at some point. You cannot give over everything, so it will be kind of do or die in that sense. They do spot up the Jarvan here on the invade, and he's just going to walk his way out.
Yep. Okay. Team's just waiting for that next objective spawn, farming. Mundo's really doing quite well. Now has Giant Spell on top of Warmogs. I do believe that means Warmogs will be active, so Mundo exists. Doesn't quite deal the damage yet, but is very hard to kill already.
Yeah, are going to be likely working towards that Heartsteel second item, kind of going the Aloy Mundo build, I would have to presume. Taking a look at items across the board, everyone's now completed their first item. Wukong working towards that Sundered Sky that Jarvan already has. Taking a look at the gold difference across the map. Dead even in the jungle. Deficit in the solo lanes for blue side, but an advantage on this Kai'Sa over the Ezreal.
Yep. So it looks like they're putting all their eggs into the solar basket. So hoping this Kai'Sa with her dueling abilities later game will be able to take them to victory.
Jarvan goes in with the flag and drag, going to be walked out there by the Mundo. Meanwhile, Wukong kind of getting pushed out of their jungle, but there's not really anything for the red side to get done within there, so kind of just hanging pat, and we'll see Atacon spawning up here. Looks like it's going to be on that top side here in just a minute.
Yep. Which is, I'm guessing why Death by Deep Ward have already rotated their bot lane to the top lane, so they can get more members up near that objective before it spawns. So great movements around the map to prepare for that objective. Getting the push in is huge, setting up for it in just 30 seconds. So there's only one more wave spawning, and it'll be just at the center of the lane by the time this objective spawns, or just about to the center of the lane.
So Sandra could fish here. Rakan has the W. They're playing it safe. Wukong is far A little bit of poke coming through. It's going to be a pure 4-on-4 as both top laners have their TP here on the bot side. Mundo has to keep Yorick from just getting to push this for free. That could open up a window for a teleport play perhaps, as it looks like they're going to start up the Atacon.
Yes, they have. They have that wave pushed out up top. And Poro Professors are not pushing mid.
Now we saw in game number 2 there was a bit of a throw at the Atacon. You know, red side was doing it. Yep. Jarvan's actually going to look to go in onto Boybot, who does take a ton of damage. Has to use the clone there to get out. Already down to about 50% HP, but the Atacon is going to reset. It's getting angry. Ooh. Rakan goes in, gets the charm onto the Jarvan. Massive shockwave though, traps the 2 members. Kaisa is down. Rakan has to flash out. Mundo has teleported in. And now a double kill here for the Lissandra. It's a 2-for-1. Teleport coming through from the York. It is going to be a 4-on-3, but health bars are low. And now that's the cycle coming through from the Wukong. Rakan is dead. Boybot is 1-tap on the other side of the map. Chet is trying to do what they can. Rid, they're trying to run down this York, but they cannot do it. Troggy has to flash out. Mundo is here. Mundo is strong, and they cannot kill this massive tank. Going to end up being a 2-for-2 in the end, and nobody's going to get that Atacon.
Oh, so much back and forth. Even kills, and
but Mundo trapped in the cage, has to use the flash. That's a big cooldown here.
That's why Mundo has flash.
This soul fight coming up here.
Yep. Red team already moving down to that objective. Their jungler is straight into position. Mundo just starting the reset now, so they will be late to that team fight. They no longer have the TP in order to join. Used it for that Otacon fight. So they're gonna be no, there's still a little bit of time before response. We're fine. Everything's fine. 20 seconds. Mundo will be there. Lissandra on the opposite side of the map with TP though, so good lane allocation on that point. Lissandra will start to do some damage onto this top turret, and since Otacon is the other objective, that lane will be pushed in case they do win that fight and then rotate over. This is Soul. They're choosing to give it for mid.
I mean, that's well, they're getting the mid prio first, but this dragon should be getting started up here. We'll have moved this camera over. It's down to 5,000. It's going down quickly. Wukong could go for the 50-50 onto the Jarvan. That's going to be the dash in from the Rakan. The shockwave not able to connect on anybody. It's going to be a pure 50-50, and it's going to go over to the blue side, who is able to steal it away. Jarvan gets hit up there by the charm, but the Cataclysm onto multiple members. Guys have to flash over the top. Wukong uses their cyclone to get onto multiple members, and Orianna goes and flashes in onto Solar. One-on-one. Orianna Kaisa going to go the way of, or it's Ezreal rather. We're losing our minds over here. Boybot is low, getting chased down there by Chet. Gonna have to use the Nimbus Strike to get away by the Krugs. Mundo has no flash. Could finally be going down here, and they might have gotten the dragon. They might have denied Soul Point, but it cost them dearly in this fight. Although, meanwhile, on the top side, Lissandra have been pushing this top lane the whole time.
They got mid-tier 1, they got top tier 1, and top tier 2. I would say the Poro Professors definitely are happy to lose 2 members for all that they gained in that fight.
Massive team fight there. Massive steal coming through from Boybot. It was close. It did go their way. All the summoners have been exhausted at this point, aside from that J4 flash. So we could just see another scrap up here at the Atacon. But might be a little bit dangerous at this point.
This is a very even game, very even gold. Drake advantage on the Death by Deep board, but they've prevented the stacking for another 5 minutes here. So Poro Professors are not terribly unhappy, and Kaisa is really starting to dish out damage now. Engage onto Jarvan, and they walk away.
Yeah. This is game 3 playoffs. Neither team wants to go home. They're trying to play it safe. They're trying to play methodical. Massive play there from Boybot to make it happen. And Chet, we saw this on the Mordekaiser, kind of got caught out a couple of times for big objectives. Minute on the Baron Nashor. They are going to get out from the Rakan engaged, but the Wukong has the clone. The quickness gets used here. The Lissandra ult gets used. Yorick is just going to get absolutely deleted. And the reinforcements are here. Jarvan goes in with the EQ onto multiple members. Can they get out? Shockwave not going to be able to do anything on the Orianna. And Wukong is in with the Cyclone. So much damage from the Kaisa, who is free fighting on the other side. Wukong gets in. Jarvan goes in with the EQ onto multiple members. Can they get the Kaisa on the backside? And they're one auto away. Yes, they can, but they will fall in response. Soul Dig's trying to do what they can on the edge, but they're getting super low. It ends up being a 1-for-1 or 1-for-2 somehow.
But that was an outnumbered fight. Mundo's been on that bot side. He picked up the bot tier 2 during that fight, and now has TP up to again push a lane when looking for this Otacon and or Baron play.
And again,
normally we don't see Otacon into Baron, but we could in this game.
Yeah. So close are these fights. Again, Jarvan had the great EQ, but just wasn't able to get it in sync with the Orianna Shockwave. And so a lot of the damage kind of went out the window. You know, your York had already been down. They picked them off. Well played to the Lissandra and the Wukong. Rakan using the quickness. But this game is super, super close at this point. Can definitely go either way.
Yeah, the Jarvan going back in and kind of going all in to secure the kill on the support. I'm very sure for morale getting that kill was good, though. As a support main, if I get a high value member of the enemy team, such as literally anybody but the support, to dive in and sacrifice their life for me, I consider that a net positive and am very happy with the situation.
Gonna see a little bit of an engage coming through here onto the Jarvan, who does use the flag and drag there onto the Rakan, has to flash out with the E, but the double Cataclysm. Kai'Sa uses their ultimate to get through. True Shot Barrage not going to connect, but that is a big cooldown getting used there on the Rakan.
Mundo thinking about it.
This game's on a knife's edge.
It is. It really is. It's still quite even, fairly close in gold. The Poro professors do have the advantage despite being down in kills. They are quite strong. I don't know if they quite believe it yet, but that is 2.5 big items for this Mundo.
Yeah, I mean, Mundo's starting to get to that point where it is going to hurt. Wukong sitting on those 2 items now, working towards maybe a Sterix Gauge. Otacon is up on that other side of the map, and we see blue side is running up. Red side has it down to 10,000. Yorick does have teleport, can look to answer, and is immediately going to do it preemptively. Redemption going to come through from the Rakan, I believe, getting some vision on it, down to 5,000. The shredding from the Otacon going to be doing a lot of work here. Wukong is in. E does not come through from the Lissandra. They are peeling off 3,000 on this objective. It's going to be a pure 50-50. Who is it going to go to? Jarvan goes in. Blue team's able to steal it away with the Kai'Sa, and the Cataclysm is not going to do anything. The Cyclone doing so much work. Wukong gets out from the top side. Now Lissandra looking to go back in. E not going to stick around for it. Yorick going to be the first or the next to fall here. You would have to assume Mundo stuck in the cage, does not use their flash. They are so damn tanky, and now they're popping their ultimate, and that is just going to be the 1-for-0. But the Otacon goes the way of blue side.
Wow. So a 1-for-1 at the end of fight, but Otacon being secured by Poro professors. That was a little bit of a Hail Mary trying to burn it down before Poro professors realized what was happening, which had worked for Death by Deeport in the earlier games. So you can really already see the adaptation of the Poro professors to the playstyle of Death by Deeports. That is really impressive on their feet thinking in a single series.
Yeah, and meanwhile, we're taking a look at this dragon that is now spawned. Wukong has it down to 5,000. They should be able to pick this up before the reinforcements can get here. And just like that, they're now on 2 dragons of their own. This game feels very much momentum is in favor of the Poro professors. But again, if that J4 Ori can get a killer combination off onto this Wukong, onto this Kai'Sa, there are still opportunities to win. But everyone seems to have flashes up. All these fights have been happening, no flashes. Baron is now on the table. Mid lane Prio is being jockeyed for by Deepward.
Yup. It's hard for me to come up with something to say right now because I just want to like sit here on the edge of my chair watching it, seeing what happens. There's so much tension. The teams are just playing their hearts out. And I don't know how it's going to end. Yeah. I genuinely don't know.
Can go either way here. So close is this game. And what a series this has been to cast. Either way, it's just been so much fun. 3-game banger. Mundo has to get out here. But Troggy has gotten caught out here. Has to flash away. And this might be the outlook that the Death by Deepward needs. Getting super low here into the Zanyas. The Quickness is able to connect to multiple members with the Cyclone. Lissandra's going to get shut down there. The Cataclysm on to 3 members. But Wukong flashes over the wall. Cyclone going onto the backside. And now look at Boybot just doing so much damage on the backside. They cannot get them off. Good. Forced out flash there by Soldiggs, but they are dashing in. Speth able to get away. Tokyo able to get away on the skin of their teeth, but there's so many flashes with Solar with the snipe from downtown onto Speth, and that's going to be an instant pivot over to this Baron.
Mundo's alive too. He TP'd in. Oh my gosh, at full health. He had 2 members running him down.
10,000
Okay.
on this objective. Tokyo has no HP. If they look to go for the seal, it's going to be a one-way trip. They don't really have the best tools to keep him out, but it's getting low. It's down to 4,000. Jarvan can't get in. Looking for maybe a flying drag. Going to be able to get in. Tries to get in with the flash. Cannot do so. And they're looking to fight here now. Shet is going to be super low. Going to be killed off their true shot. Bryce does a lot of damage. Tokyo is going down. Solar's doing so much work on this Kaisa. Now Wukong tries to get over. Flash over. Double kill here for the Rakan. And can they look to end here through mid lane?
Is that game? Is that the end of the playoff run for Death by Deepward?
Orianna,
oh my gosh.
Orianna and Karma are up 30 seconds on the rest of the members. 4 members strong here in the mid lane. Lissandra does have teleport, but they're not looking to use it here. They're trying to play it safe. They are just pushing on this mid wave. Tower's going to fall here nicely quickly with the demolish from Dr. Mundo. It is down. They could look to push the inhib. Health bars are kind of low, though. They're looking to play a little bit reserved. Boybot taking a lot of damage from the Orianna. Inhibitor's going to fall here, and now the bot wave is getting pushed up.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so mid is open. They still have Baron. They have fast respawns. I'm guessing they're going to take it. They're going to buy, because they probably have really heavy pockets at this point. Yeah. Big buys coming out of everyone here. Ah, a Tiamat coming out of Mundo. That is fun. He's a problem. You can't ignore the Mundo now. Not that you could before, but... Okay. Kaisa is at 3.5 items. Huge. I actually love that Seeker's arm guard. Just that leather level of survivability, since she is the majority of the team's damage. I mean, Boybot and Mundo are 100% pulling their weight. However, the ADC is a significant portion of damage. Oh no, we see Captain Clutch coming out here.
Try a big shock with their arm to Solar, but they are going to get picked off there by Boybot. And just like that, they are down. Wukong gets in onto Chet, who opted into that fight. Quickness gets through onto multiple members. Rakan not able to get onto the rest of them, but the flash into the Cyclone, into the Kaisa ultimate, and that's going to be everyone falling on the side of Death by Deepward. All that's left is Tokyo, and that's going to be an ace triple kill here for Solar, Chris.
Beautiful.
And that is going to be your game. That's going to be your series, the reverse sweep for the Poro Professors.
A beautiful reverse sweep. 1 game 2, 1 game 3. Baroned up super minions, undefended base. This is game 3, and I am so happy to see it come to a dramatic end like that. This series was so fun to watch, and thank you, both of these teams, for absolutely playing out of your minds. It was so good to see you guys on the Rift tonight.
Now is the time to say that 3 is a pattern, or 3 is a confirmation. That is 3 blue side wins in a row here tonight in this series. Clearly blue side supremacy, as I will go ahead and pay out the predictions there. What an absolute banger of a game, absolute banger of a series overall. Even that game was so back and forth, but once the first sign of momentum started to go in favor of Poro Professors, they never let go. And it was around that early game Atacon, which we've seen is such a hard objective to take sometimes. So we'll take a look. Maybe of course, the graphs, they're kind of working, or the stats are working. I might have broken them, unfortunately. We'll see.
Sadness. Desolation.
Client,
Thanks.
not the best, of course. But
but you can scroll through like where the gold thing is, and we can at least see the vision score. I mean, look at that vision score.
That's what supports.
And actually, the CS per minute. This is economy, right? Gosh,
it is
the
economy.
Poro Professors really are very good at farming, and I am super happy to see that the jungler got over one more. Both junglers and Chet. Bravo, sir, managing 1 CS per minute. Everyone that's not the support should be aiming for at least 1 CS per minute, or 1 vision per minute. You can do it with your trinket very easily, and it will help you win lots of games.
All right, we'll go ahead and ping for the Poro Professor, see if anybody wants to do a little interview. As you can tell, by the end of game 3, I'm always losing my voice for sure. So we will, and it was a relatively long series, so we won't do like a crazy, crazy long interview, but always like to give teams the chance to come on and talk a little bit after the series, after they have such a wonderful performance. So the ping has been put out. We'll see if anyone wants to hop up. But yeah, I mean that Wukong doing so much work on that engage. The Mundo, like early game was looking rough, but going 008 didn't let the
Oh,
York get out of
beautiful.
hand. Very, very strong stuff. And then those Rakan engages too. I think Shinji on the Poppy on the Rakan had
Hmm.
massive impact both games and quietly might have been the MVP.
Yeah, Shinji did very, very well. Solar was really able to excel in fights. Um, Shinji was great about when their team was at objectives. They were always there. They were one of the first ones there and did an amazing job at not going in at objectives that they were giving and dying for vision on it. Um, which I am known to do. That's fine. They did great.
Mm-hmm. If anyone, okay, so Boybot has said they'd be down for an interview. If you want to hop into community in the Discord, I can go ahead and pull you up, and we can go ahead and ask. Just, I'm assuming you're watching. So here in a couple seconds, I'll see the little pop up. Or someone's watching from the team. Yep, as if it's like clockwork. Well, it's like 5 second delay, but gonna go ahead and pull you up into the casting booth. Welcome in Boybot, Jungler, and Captain, I believe, of the Poor Professors. Congratulations
That's
on
correct.
your series win
Thank
here
you so
tonight.
much.
How are we feeling?
We're feeling great. Honestly, after that first game loss, we were pretty concerned. It was not our best showing. I think the score was 17-1. And even going into the third game, we were pretty worried because we were dropping a lot of early objectives, but we managed to rally the troops and we had some really good team fights in the late game on game 3 there, and yeah, we were able to pull it back. So
So I know that the stream can't see it, but I can. You are dressed inappropriately for the champions you played tonight.
that's true.
So you're dressed as Teemo. You have a Teemo plushie behind you.
Yeah.
Why on earth did you not play Teemo then?
You know what? It might be a pocket pick for the finals.
Oh, okay, okay.
I can say there was a little bit of a time last season where I played some Teemo jungle, so you know it's sitting there. It's lying in wait.
Okay.
It's getting the practice that it needs. You know, it
Oh,
might come out
good.
in a full game.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
Brox was playing it again, so maybe it's back in vogue.
Exactly.
Who knows?
I saw that clip. He was blowing people up. So
Yeah. So you talked about it like a tiny bit, right? So like game one really was definitely probably not the game that you guys were hoping for going in. And what was kind of like the what was like the comms, what was the vibe check kind of, going into game two, was like anyone like tilted? Was anybody like needed a reset? Like
oh,
what was the vibe?
everyone's always tilted.
Oh.
We that's our signature thing. Everybody's like super mad at themselves, and then they just kind of focus the angry energy into destroying the opponents, and that's kind of what we do. But yeah, we played a warm-up game earlier today to kind of try and get the jitters out and hopefully win the game one, because we've previously struggled with losing the first game and then, just tilting off the face of the earth. I'm sure every solo queue player can agree with that. But yeah, we were able to kind of just erase the first game from our minds and just we felt confident in our draft in game two, and we played well. So that's all we needed.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me about the B1 Lilia. Because I'm a big Lilia fan, but I
Yeah.
personally, don't have the or a lot of times won't have the gumption to pick it, B1 and just kind of say whatever the enemy team picks, it'll be fine. And they even like picked a pretty hard matchup in the Echo. So just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm really confident in my Lilia ability. I'm like a Lilia main. There was one time I was pretty high up on the ladder in North America for Lilia main, so I was 100% confident. The Echo matchup, we talked about it in in the draft after he picked it. And yeah, I said that it would be annoying, but it really didn't matter for the team that we were playing. And then playing into their team, it's pretty easy to get into the non-mobile jinx and the zigs there, and just get the sleep off on them. And yeah, I'm confident in my team fighting ability, and it also helps when I get an early lead. I think I went 1-0 off of a mid gank at like 4 minutes in that game, so that was definitely helpful to improve the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Really accelerated on the Lilia. Kind of didn't look back, a couple times where, they caught you out with the chompers and, Echo was able to pick
Yeah.
up a lot of gold, but you guys kind of
For
weathered
sure.
the storm. Were able to bring it back. And then again, just that game 3 was an absolute banger. Felt super even up until
Yeah.
around the Atacon. Really fun series to watch. Again, I'm looking at the stream schedule. I think this is your guys' first time on stream.
It
so
is.
kind of a
Yeah,
good,
that's correct.
a fun
We're very excited.
yeah, fun introduction to your guys' gameplay. I mean, banger series, so definitely something to keep an eye on for next week heading on into the playoffs. Is there anyone in particular you're hoping you come across here in the playoffs? I know the bracket would have you guys. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, we're across from Rat Tactic Jesters. They went. I believe they finished undefeated in our side of the economy division, and we played against them, and we took game 2 off of them in our best of 3. So we got to show that they had a weakness, and we definitely want to expose that in the playoffs. So if we get them on the other side of the bracket, we're definitely looking to change our outcome from our regular season and take them down. So yeah.
I'd love to hear that. Hopefully the cards lay out that way. Loki, you got any other questions or anything? I was gonna ask about the control words, but your support's already answered in the chat. Just starting a new meta. I mean, I had to laugh game 3 when both supports went a control word instead of the pots. Show us how quickly the game evolves.
Our support loves to say, "Wow, this guy's really dying for a control ward." So that's that's the motto.
I would be the one dying. That would be me.
Yeah, it's free gold, right? Until you get collapsed on.
Yep.
So yeah, any other questions, Loki?
Nope.
All right, well then
I'm good for the night. I'm just really excited we got to see good league.
Yeah, it was a really fun series. Boybot, the floor is yours. If you've got anyone you want to shout out or any final words, the floor is yours.
Well, of course, I'll shout out my whole team. The boys really came together today, and I'll shout out my coach, Carpy24. He's the GOAT. He helped us through the drafts and everything. And I'll shout out my boy Timo over here on the shelf, and my girlfriend who tuned into all the streams, even though she has no idea what's going on in League. So yeah, and shout out to you guys as well for hosting me here on this interview. It's been a pleasure, and it's very fun to play. I'm glad you guys got some entertainment. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, if you guys go back and watch, you enjoy the highs. Maybe enjoy the lows knowing you won. Was a really fun series to watch for sure. Really, really fun stuff. And I think with that's going to wrap us up here for tonight. Banger 3-game series. Hopefully we'll get to see more of that continue on in economy playoffs. On behalf of Loki, I am Les Force. I'm going to tune on some music for 5 seconds or so just to sign us off for the night. And we will hopefully catch you later this week for whoever's getting streamed next. Keep your eyes peeled. Have a good night.